talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. talkSPORT understands Manchester United are in advanced talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's closing in on becoming their full-time interim coach. But Simon Jordan says this decision exposes what a sorry state the club is in.
Only thing that's there is the memory of Man United right now, and to bring back this idea of people that have played for the football club just because they played for the football club, just because they were a substitute that scored a memorable goal in the European Cup final of 1999 is, for me, is a fool's errand. But if that's what they think is the best solution for the time being, they've made dreadful decisions.
Despite that, Solskjaer has the full backing of several first-team players such as Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire, but this is only an interim role. Oliver Glasner's the bookies' favourites to take the job permanently in the summer, and had his say on the odds.
I'm not allowed to bet. My contract is one paragraph. I tell you, I'm not allowed to bet, and that's I don't look at it.
Palace's clash with Villa is live on the talkSPORT network tonight, along with all other midweek games. Now, with West Ham 7 points off safety after their 2-1 defeat to Forest last night, Danny Murphy's given this bleak outlook for the Hammers.
It's a big mountain. 7 points when you're in that bottom three is hard. You're looking up. Every game becomes massive. And as Simon said, they don't look like they're going to win games. They don't look like they're playing well enough to win games. Yeah.
And Gary O'Neill's the new Strasbourg manager, taking over from Liam Rosenior. He joins the club 7th in Ligue 1. Get all the latest on the talkSPORT website.
talkSPORT News.
The drink drive limit could be slashed to just 1 pint or less, and a fresh amber danger to life wind warning has been issued for the western tip of Cornwall.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got more premium tyres than the number of times you'll hear, "Ooh, it's a bit nippy this winter." Book today at quickfit.com.
Plenty of dry weather around with some sunshine, sleet and snow showers across northern and northeastern Scotland. Rain expected in the southwest later.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT. Hawksby and Jacobs for the chock-a-block generation. Charlie, what's coming up between now and 4?
Harry Redknapp joins us to talk about West Ham after that hammer blow at home to Forest last night. Then we'll look ahead to all the Premier League games tonight with Lars Sivertsen. They are live across the talkSPORT network.
And we'll chat Manchester United with author and broadcaster Narin Chowry. The comedian and Celtic fan Vittorio Angelone joins us. And we'll look back at the penultimate day of this Ashes series with Matt Pryor. What a knock from Jacob Bethel.
Beautiful. Cricket will do some transfers. Tony Afoki will talk us through the AFCON semi-finalists. And we'll speak to a man who played with Liam Rosenior. Go on, Grits.
Yes, I think I meant to write quarterfinalists, but maybe he knows who's in the semi-finals.
Maybe he can work it out.
All that between now and 4. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Max. And what is my last time doing any work ever?
Great.
I'm giving up all work. Just going to living off my wife.
The text board will explode. There'll be absolutely 1889. This is the last you'll hear of Charlie Baker
ever.
Oh, okay, this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to be living off my wife from today onwards.
Okay, good stuff.
I mean, she's done the job already and been paid for it, and we're still having to go to work. But I can only see it being a massive success. She's in a show that starts tonight on BBC One called Can You Keep a Secret with Dawn French. She's in that.
Okay.
She plays a police. Yeah. She's not in massive part in tonight, but the next three or four episodes, she's really in it. Mrs. Baker.
Could she get Mrs. Rushden in it? And then I could also
and you don't have
not
to work either. Then neither of us have to do anything. And the listeners get their wish. Not all the listeners, some of the listeners, maybe Bob, mainly Bob in Kent.
Oh, okay.
So there we are. So I'm looking forward to doing this. And then that's me off.
Really? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with your life?
I'm going to sit around.
I think you'd be really good at it.
I quite like sitting around. I quite like just watching the sport on telly. And just like letting the day go by. Really,
I have I worry about the show. I mean, there's just not a lot of sport about. Not a lot's happening at the moment in the world of sport.
Is there?
Very little happening.
There's no drama.
There's absolutely none. I wish I wish it was a bit more unpredictable, this game that we love. There's just nothing. There's no big clubs are going through any sort of turmoil.
I think it was quite predictable. The moment Amorim said, I don't want to do this job anymore, I'm only seeing out my contract. That's all I'm doing. I have no passion for the club. I don't really like the fans. The players are all terrible. No one's listening to me. The moment he said that, I thought, I don't think he's going to be there.
Now I understand what your bit was. Now I've worked out what the bit was at the top. I should have picked it up quicker, Charlie, if you're asking me. What you needed to do was say, and management here are absolutely hopeless. What I really hate is
throw
the
it under
producers, middle management, senior management. They're all hopeless. They're on different. What's interesting is, because obviously Jason Wilcox is, he's big at. But did you know that there are other Blackburn players from that side are in big roles all around the world? Did you know that?
Are they really?
Did you know that Stuart Ripley is the Foreign Secretary of the United States at the moment? He's cavalier.
Ripley, believe it or not. Okay, I mean, I don't know if that was a good reference or not.
Now this is exciting, Charlie, isn't it?
What's exciting?
We think it's Mikel Antonio's house on Rightmove.
Is it his house, Max? Do you think it is his house?
I think it is his house. But people have done some looking at the research done by two of my friends, Sunny Rudravajula, broadcaster, and George Elek from Not the Top 20 podcast.
Oh, yes.
They've been doing some detective work, and they've noticed that it's got, there are telltale signs that it is Mikel Antonio's house. Jarrod Bowen and Ben Rama shirts from the 2023 Conference League final are there. Good. But if you haven't seen it, it is quite an amazing.
You need to get Lloyd Grossman on though. You need to get Lloyd Grossman on.
Who lives in a house? The clues are there.
The clues are there.
This is an easy round. It's not like the episode of Through the Keyhole where it was, and now for those of you home, let's see whose house it is. And it was two former hostages from Iraq. How would you ever guess? It's a couple who'd been held hostage in Iraq.
I don't know.
How could you possibly get that? Are the clues there?
The radiators? I don't know. Look at the radiators.
They haven't done their house up, have they? They haven't done their house up like that, have they?
I don't know.
Anyway, this house on Rightmove is in Brentwood, and it has a full five-a-side pitch outside. It also has a swimming pool, which has been designed like a boat that says GOAT on it in big silver letters.
That's nice.
And it has a kind of plastic beach and sea that looks like it's sort of like flowing out from the boat. Got a sauna, of course.
Did you say it says boat or goat on the...
It says goat. Great, it is goat.
Do you think he just got that wrong, lost in translation?
What you saying?
In a Spinal Tap way. Why does it... I said a swimming pool shaped like a goat.
Yeah. Inside, it has like the coffee table under the TV looks like a golden animal of some sort. Then there is a, I wouldn't say scale giraffe, but there's a pretty big grey giraffe in there.
That's nice.
There's one of the bathrooms is sort of gold, has gold tiling and a massive gold mirror. There's a big gym, which is obviously useful. Then there's a sort of office which is called the Handsome Devils Club, and that is yellow leather seats with turquoise wall paneling and a gold roof. Then it has enormous.
The way you would describe that would not get you into the Handsome Devils Club, Max. That's why you're not. That's why you're not in it. That's why you're not in it. Not invited, NFI'd.
I'm not in the Handsome
not
Devils
in
Club.
it.
Then it has a TV room, and obviously a bit tight for space. The TV is so big, and the sofa is like you are in seat A6 of the Odeon Leicester Square. You are looking right up You're looking up, you craned your neck, don't want to watch Avatar from that seat. But it does have a full five-a-side football pitch in there. 1.6 million it's on full.
What worries me, looking at the pitch, it's also got basketball hoops, isn't it? But it's a 3G pitch. You can't bounce a ball on that, can you?
No, you can't.
You can't bounce it like a basketball. You're not playing any basketball.
So what he's done here is, when you think, well, that'll add value.
Yeah.
If I build that in the garden, that'll add value. But no NBA players are going to buy that off me.
No NBA players are going to live in Brentwood, Essex, and play for the LA Clippers.
John Stockton is not buying. Larry Bird is not buying that house off Michael Antonio.
For practice.
I'll give you 1.2, but I'm going to have to rip up the floor of that five-a-side pitch. But you had a nice idea, Charlie, for a text topic.
I did. Now yes, this is what it was. I want some looking at that five-a-side pitch in his back garden.
Yeah, he's had a whole football pitch put in his garden.
When I was about 8, 9, I didn't have many friends, Max. Spent a lot of time on my own. So I spent a whole weekend building my own football goal out of bits of old wood from the shed and some green, what I'd call strawberry garden netting, that you put.
Yeah, I know the type.
The birds get trapped.
It's not stopping the ball.
Horrific.
The ball's going to go right through it.
Right through it. Appalling. Yeah. And I can't tell you how bad a job I did, but I kept this goal up for, I'd say, a year. But every time you hit the post or, hit the bar, it would collapse on top of you. It was dangerous. Nails sticking out of it. Dreadful. But back garden, homemade goals. And back garden pitches and all those brilliant things that you do when you're a child. And
what was your pitch? Exactly. Michael Antonio, like many footballers, has that. I mean, if you do have the Handsome Devils Club sign in your house, we'll take that too. But this is Max. Have you ever considered being an estate agent? As an ex-agent myself, your patter while reading out the property details is quite horrendous. You'd fit into the industry seamlessly, says Paul. Dion Dublin is quaking in his boots with this content, lads.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, can I also add, I had in my bedroom, I put a wasn't. And then I got shoot posters, any shoot posters, and I made them like a goal, right? And then I'd have a sponge football. I'd throw it against the wall, and I'd do headers.
You do headers,
I'd either be goalie or I'd be, because I had
goalie,
Clive. I had my friends, and one of us would do headers. The radiator. The one issue was pulling the radiator off the wall, which clearly players at the elite level don't have. Areola didn't have a big radiator there behind him at the London Stadium just to lean on.
But Ray Dieter, I think he was. I think he played with, who was our other player? Keith Brick, was it?
He sounds like an American footballer, doesn't he? Ray Dieter.
Hi, I'm Ray Dieter. Good player though. Good player. Used to get a few past you, I understand. Good player.
It's a toast of London name, isn't it? Ray Dieter.
Ray Dieter.
Anyway, your homemade goals, please, back garden or bedroom. We'll take either. 8:99 at Max Rushden at Baker's Tweet. You are listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Toolstation. Harry Redknapp will join us next after that disappointing defeat for West Ham at home to Forest in the Premier League.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT. Jamie O'Hara apparently doesn't think it is Antonio's house.
Okay.
He commented on Instagram, one of my good mates, Gaff. He ain't a footballer, crying with laughter emoji. He is a boss, crying with laughter emoji. I don't know if he means like a manager or just he's a boss, like a sort of, it's a generic term for
who knows?
A good lad, I guess. But it doesn't change the text subject of homemade goals.
Of course.
Afternoon, gents, says Chris. My grandfather was a very keen gardener. And whenever me and my brother visited, we'd raid the garden shed and construct a goal out of his garden canes. This wasn't just for goalposts. We'd also construct the net from canes too, spending hours carefully weaving canes together. It was a thing of beauty that lasted until the first well-struck shot decimated all our hard work. Great times.
Yeah, great.
It's when kids used to play outdoors and make their own fun.
The good
Not
old
just
days.
stuck on a screen.
Broken Britain.
The good old days. Broken.
Happy Father's
Rip
Day.
off Britain. Happy Father's Day. Rip off Britain. Anyway, disappointing night for West Ham last night against Forest.
For the loser, a winter of discontent, Lou.
They've got to wake up now and start winning games of football.
The club has gone. Like there's no, the whole soul of that football club is dead at the moment.
West Ham United hit the front. It's an own goal from Murillo. The last time they did win a game in which they opened the scoring was back in August against
Forest.
Correct.
Yeah, keep believing, man. Keep believing. It's a tough moment.
And you're starting to see the West Ham supporters trickle
Exodus.
out now. Yeah, they've seen enough, some of them.
It's almost like a script we've all read before.
Penalty to Nottingham Forest in the 87th minute of the game.
Big pressure.
The shoulders of Morgan Gibbs-White. He steps up, right-footed, and drills it through the middle of the goal and into the back of the net. Felt as if they've been destined to be sucked into a relegation fight for the last few years.
There's a complete lack of leadership across the whole team.
But their dreams, like the bubbles that are blown from the machine before kick-off, seem to be fading and dying. West Ham United 1, Nottingham Forest 2.
Yeah. Oh, that was rough, wasn't it? Let's talk to the former West Ham manager, Harry Redknapp. Hey, Harry.
Hello, Harry.
How you guys? How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you, Harry.
Yeah, really good. I thought they were a bit. I thought they were a bit unlucky yesterday, West Ham.
Yeah, I did. I mean, you know, when that second goal went in, you thought it was game over, and then suddenly VAR, and it was a very unfortunate decision. You know, it was, I don't know, second, third phase, whatever they call it now. And that really changed the game. You know, at that stage, you thought if they go 2 up, you couldn't see Forest coming back. But, you know, when it's not going your way, then things tend to happen. And then there was sloppy goals, the second goal and the penalty were the first goal, you know, and then the penalty it was a scramble. It was a difficult night. And Nuno obviously is coming under fierce criticism and getting the blame. But at the end of the day, the players are what they are. People forget they always end up as the manager and there's no leadership. What can he do? What more can he do with that group? Potter came, he couldn't get a tune out of them. You can bring who you want in there. You can bring Pep in with that team. He's not going to suddenly get them shooting up the league. The players They are short of quality. They're not good enough. They're where they are in the league because that's how good the players are.
Yeah, I actually think you're right. I think there is quite a big drop because you look at Forest, who actually have some really talented players, and you think maybe they should be higher up the table. But actually, I think there is a big drop between the bottom three side, a bit like last year, even though they were the promoted sides. In terms of quality of squads, I totally agree with you. I think West Ham are lacking in so many areas of the pitch.
Look at the back four. The young left back did well last night. I thought it was unfortunate to come off. The right back gives everything. Walker Peters, the two centre halves. No, I hate criticising people. I'm not, but they're really not. They're not top draw. They're not good enough. They're what they are. They haven't got a centre half there who is going to take responsibility and boss the team, and they need a leader. They haven't got one. They haven't got a centre open. They're conceding goals. It's a team. Take Bowen out the team. How many of them players would get in a decent West Ham team over the years? How many of them would have actually played? Not many of them.
There's a caller there in that package we just heard. He said the soul seems to have gone out of the club, Harry. I don't know if that's to do with the move to the new stadium. I mean, that was probably a while ago now. I can't imagine how long ago that was. But it is starting to feel a little bit like a franchise sometimes. When you move clubs away from the area that they're born in, then it becomes about, I don't know what it becomes about then. Fans have to try and get there. It's tough.
Sure. Charlie, the last, Upton Park was a unique stadium. The crowd were within touching distance of the players. They were there. It was intimidating. The atmosphere it created when West Ham were playing well, the crowd swaying in that chicken run back in the day before the stadium was even built, singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" was one of the most it was like going to Anfield, when they're singing "You Never Walk Alone." It was iconic. It was incredible atmosphere. That's gone. That's well gone. And then players are gone. When people talk about the academy, they haven't got players. They're not an academy. They don't produce players. How many of them kids have, the left backs come out through the youth team probably? It'd be about the only one, I would think. It used to be an academy that produced kids. Everyone came through the youth team. They produced homegrown players. The youth system was unbelievable. It doesn't happen anymore. It's not an academy. It's a team now that is scrapping to try to get a result and stay in the league. They're not going to play fantastic football. And at the moment, they don't look like they're even capable of scrapping hard enough to stay in the league. It needs a miracle. There's only Notts Forest who look within touching distance still for me if they're going to get out of trouble. I can't see Leeds. I can't see Brentford have done amazing this year. Sunderland have done fantastic. Who else is going to go? I don't see. I think West Ham, the only team they could possibly catch would still be Forest. So that's why last night was such an important game.
A lot of the time, I don't know what you think of this, Max, as well, is you have these conversations about the old ground and the old stadium, and it was better, and it's it's, a lot of the time it's nostalgia. We're remembering being younger, remembering all those things. But I think with this, it genuinely is worse. You look at Brentford. Brentford have moved stadium. That was been a really good move. The Everton stadium looks like it's gonna fit. The move feels so bad for West Ham in particular.
Yeah, but Charlie, the recruitment at Brentford is obviously over the last few years has been very good.
Yeah,
Brentford, the manager Frank had a good group of players, Tony and the Boyd, and Boma, who's gone to Man United. They had a good group of players. We said gone to Newcastle. Yet they recruited well. West Ham have recruited badly.
Yeah.
They haven't recruited well. They've signed very, very few good players. The players that come in, they come, they go. The centre forward comes, the German boy, a 40 million pounds, never kicked the ball. And suddenly his agent comes on, he wants to leave, and then good luck. Let's get there. We'd like him to leave. How do we get rid of him? Who's going to give us our money back? He's now gone on loan to Milan or where he's gone. But the recruitment's been poor. And the manager has got no chance. I don't care who goes in. You can do what you want on the training ground. Stevie Potts is coaching. He's a great lad, knows the club, loves the club. Mark Robson, great guy, good coaches. What can they do with that group? You can work day and night with them. You're not going to suddenly turn them into fantastic players, unfortunately. They're what they are. And people forget with managers, take Scott Parker. Take Scott Parker at Burnley. Amazing what he did last year, getting them promoted. Fantastic. Now it's the same man doing the same job, saying the same things every day. The players, unfortunately, they've stepped out their division. They've gone up the league. They can't hardly win a game. It's nothing. What can the manager do? He's still talking the same talk. He's doing the same coaching, training sessions. The players have gone into a league that is too much for them. And West Ham are the same. They've got a group of players. Nuno, he's got no chance with that group. He can do whatever he wants. He's in a relegation struggle that it looks like he can't win.
We've seen, Harry, an experienced manager in Martin O'Neill go back and help an old club. If if Nuno did get the boot, would you go in and help, or are you waiting for Spurs? What?
No, I'm waiting for Spurs. I'd work for nothing. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd go in. I love it. I'd go in anywhere. It's not be West Ham. I'd go anywhere. If someone rang me out, I'd go and do it for nothing. I really would. I'd enjoy it. You know, it's not the money. I'd enjoy going in and being around the players. I love it. It's and like Mike Martin's gone in there. He's gone in. He knows what he's doing. Experience, knows the game. It ain't rocket science. Get the best out of the players you've got. You've got to get the best out of them. And in West Ham situations, whoever goes in has got to get the best out of an average group, to be perfectly brutal. But
I say your first meeting with them, your first meeting with the clubs, with the players, is going to be tricky now, Harry.
Well, yeah. Well, you tell them, listen, you lot going to wake your ideas up, or you're going to get relegated.
Yeah.
There ain't no in between, lads. And when you lose the ball, don't be embarrassed to run and chase and try to get it back. It's quite simple, really.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, and we can keep coming up with systems. When that ball comes in your box, you centre halves, your first job is to make sure there's centre forward, that you get your head to that ball or you get your foot to it. And it's quite simple messages. People think it's so complicated that we try to baffle the average man in the street with science. And good players getting the best out, even if they're not good players, getting the best out of what you've got, basically. That's all you can do. And make them feel good about themselves, encourage them, make them believe that they can win a few games and get out of trouble, even though it's not going to be easy, that's for sure.
Good stuff, Harry. Always nice to chat.
Thank you, Harry. Thanks so much.
Pleasure, lads. Nice talking to you.
Cheers, H. Thank you.
Harry Redknapp there, former West Ham, Bournemouth and Spurs manager. Not ruling himself out there, Charlie.
No, we asked the question, didn't we? That was good, Max. That'll go online. That'll go online now. That'll go on.
Do you reckon?
Viral now.
That's not what the aim is, to have a nice show and a nice conversation.
No, that's not the aim. The aim is we go viral and sell tickets for my new tour that's going on sale at the end of February. That is what that is.
I don't think this is good. I don't think Harry saying I'd do it, I'd work for nothing.
Yeah. Harry Redknapp says he'll work for free, Max.
Is make somebody going to buy a ticket for your show in Stevenage?
Harry Redknapp said he'll go in anywhere and do it for free. Anywhere.
So if you have a club that's struggling, 8:10.89.
He said
we'll pass on the details. It'll cost you nothing. And Harry will do it. 8:10.89 at Max Rushden at Baker's tweet. Lars Sivertsen will join us in just a second. Lots of games in the Premier League. And they're all on the talkSPORT network, and we'll talk through them in just a sec.
talkSPORT understands that Manchester United are in advanced talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's closing in on becoming their full-time interim coach. Michael Carrick and Ruud van Nistelrooy have been sounded out, with Carrick potentially joining Solskjaer as an assistant. But talkSPORT's Alex Crook doesn't think the nostalgia will be the best medicine.
I mean, what does it say about Ineos? You know, they came in promising to change the direction of travel of the football club. The fact they're willing to take a step back in time by hiring either Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick. And you have to remember, as good as it was at the start for Solskjaer, it was really depressing.
Exactly. Darren Fletcher will be in the dugout tonight as they go to Burnley, live on talkSPORT. Meanwhile, what's West Ham's best bet when it comes to closing their 7-point gap? Throw off the shackles and all-out attack, or as Alan Pardew says, sign a big bad centre-half to shore things up? Here's Danny Murphy.
To some clean sheets, nicking a few points, then nicking the odd win. Set plays, they've got some big lads, and fight their way back. You're not going to do it by turning on a switch of high-energy attacking football that then steamrollers teams. They don't have the players to do it.
Some Hammers fans have rung in to blame David Moyes and his legacy, but Simon Jordan's not buying that line of argument.
David Moyes has gone into Everton with no real financial support in Everton besides a new owner coming in the summer, taken them away from relegation at a canter last year and put them 12th from the table. They're 14 points above West Ham.
Remember, all 8 Premier League matches are live across the talkSPORT network and app this evening.
$26K for 2026 on talkSPORT.
Just 2 days left to get your entry in for your chance to win £26,000 at midday this Friday. We'll call the 26K for 2026 winner, and £26,000 will be paid into their bank account that day.
Yes.
Don't miss your chance. Here's how to enter, Charlie.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close 12 p.m. Friday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. UK residents only, 18 plus. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.win.com/win. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. Good luck.
Good luck. Daz has been in touch regards building your own goals in the garden. My mates and I volunteered to trim our neighbour's hedge during the World Cup in 1994. We took the edges off, so it was 8 metres wide, and trimmed the top down to 8 feet. The old couple were really impressed, even though it looked a bit daft. Little did they realise it made a perfect full-size goal for us to play against on the other side.
Beautiful.
They gave us £10 for our efforts, which we split for the 4 of us. Wow, good stuff. I think it's £10.
How do you know if it hits the post, though, that with that? Because you've got no, the...
Because it's a tree.
I know, but if it
It's
hits
good,
the
it's a hedge.
It's the hedge, so it hits the edge of the hedge.
I mean, yeah, but quite often it was just going over a jumper, wasn't it?
That's true.
Or hitting a bicycle.
That's true. Post.
Paul says, over. That was never over. Paul says in Coventry in 2002, on our GCSE revision leave from school, we made a Nike Scorpion goals out of scraps of metal and wood from my dad's shed and used a bedsheet for the net. Our pitch was a small piece of wasteland. We called it the Little Field. Men were made and legends created during that revision leave. Keep those coming, please. 81089 at Max Rushden Baker Street.
Man v Fat Horsham are looking for a manager. So if Harry has said he'll work for free, there we are. Thank you, Vic.
He'll go anywhere for nothing.
Getting
okay, we'll see who takes that gig. That'll be good, won't it? You're bang average, lads. And let's talk to Lars Sivertsen. Lots of games in the Premier League today. Hey, Lars. Lars, welcome.
Hi. What did I just walk in on?
Sorry.
Yeah, he wasn't talking to you there, Lars.
Come on, hang on. It's a little harsh there, Charlie Baker. Come on. I've made an effort.
First day of managing Man Be Fat. Why are you so fat?
He's really made himself happy there, Lars. It's all right.
Well, listen,
really made myself laugh. Sorry.
Okay, look, lots of
Moving
games,
on.
lots of big games in the Premier League today. I mean, all eyes, I guess, will be on when the Manchester United formation drops. When I'm so excited to see how many people will be playing at the back for Manchester United when they go to Turf Moor.
Yeah. John, I feel like this is a great moment for Dan Fletcher to show that he has a sense of humor. Like he has to name 3 centre halves in the lineup just to see how people react. Because what you can do, I mean, I just read this is back. I should know this. Is Lisandro Martinez fit? Because you can name him in the lineup and just shuffle him into midfield when the game begins. Because of course he can play as a defensive midfielder. So what you can do, you can name 3 centre halves, but then and the internet can be outraged. And then the second game starts, Martinez goes into midfield and it's fine again. 4 at the back is back. What a moment that would be.
It would be. I mean, it is a nice start for Darren Fletcher. I mean, is it? I mean, it is if he wins, I guess. It's silly.
I mean, if we lose 3-0, disastrous.
Yeah, it's hard. Listen, I don't want to be too harsh on Burnley because I just think they're one of those teams who did really rather well to get promoted, and then they've kind of looked all outgunned all season. And I don't think there's a lack of effort, and I don't necessarily want to jump up and down on their heads, but they do look like a team that would always struggle to stay in this division. And if it hadn't been for Wolves having this rather spectacularly bad season, then basically they're going to get relegated, and they're probably one of the easiest teams they could have faced Man United. I mean, I don't think there's much doubt about that.
But still, it's been very interesting to see who he plays and what he does.
There'll be a bit of a sigh of relief as well, won't there, around the whole club. It'll feel a bit sort of,
I do agree with that, Charlie. And the funny thing about the Amorim sacking, I mean, a fair few things have been said about that on this network over the last few days, I'm sure. So there's a possibility I'm just adding.
No, this is the first time we've covered it, Lars.
Yeah, no one's really mentioned this before.
Sort of covered the story.
But the paradox here is that, listen, they've lost 2 in the last 14, and the sort of underlying metrics are not terrible. So generally speaking, it hasn't been the absolute worst of the Amorim periods. I would have understood it much more if they let him go after the loss to Grimsby, where he seemed to be having some kind of meltdown in the press after the game. I would have understood if they got rid of him in the summer after they finished 15th, and he just seemed like he'd gradually been losing the will to live. But recently, there was a disappointing performance against Wolves, and that loss at home to 10-man Everton was pretty sad. But the results, you could justify him staying on. But the funny thing is, having said all that, I do think you're fundamentally right, Charlie. I do think there was a stodginess to the team. There was this just enduring sense, even when they were winning games, that this isn't quite right. There were too many players who didn't look quite like themselves. There've been too many games where we've been sat watching Man United and the players have been looked like they were trying to force something that just doesn't come quite naturally to them. And I'm actually kind of excited to see this team now, whoever takes over as caretaker until the summer, to just play more of these guys in positions they're familiar with, and we can free them up a little bit, and they can look a little bit more empowered and happy on the field, maybe.
So that's on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2, Chelsea's trip to Fulham. Again, interesting to see, Liam Rosenia, as it is pronounced, and what he does. I don't know what you make of that whole situation. I mean, for me, the most interesting thing is actually the Strasbourg fan club saying, they were furious about being part of multi-club ownership. Anyway, they still are. They, of course, have had lots of money pumped in, but they've sort of said we'd rather be poor but be ours. And that is the thing that we should never forget out of all of this.
I do feel like this multi-club stuff is a big issue in football we almost haven't spoken enough about it. And I wonder if it's because we've been expending a lot of bandwidth and about a lot of airtime on things like sports washing, owners from certain countries, owners from certain background. That's something we've been worrying a lot about in the last 5 years, 10 years. And while that has been going on, this creep of the multi-club, everyone seems to have one now. All these big clubs seems to own a number of sort of subsidiary clubs here and there. And however they want to dress it up, like if you're Strasbourg and you're owned by Chelsea or Blue Collar company that owns Chelsea, you are essentially their sort of France-based reserve team, aren't you? You can dress it up however you want, but you are subsidiary to another club. And this is something I do wonder if this is coming in with an increasing number of American owners who, of course, will be familiar with that kind of structure from American sports, where you have sort of like minor league teams you can send the players down to, and there's a whole different structure over there. Of course, it's nice for these big clubs to have a club in a quote-unquote lesser league where they can park a few youngsters they're not quite sure about, or it probably solves a lot of issues for them. But yeah, for the fans of the club that gets taken over, I feel like this is something the authorities, someone like UEFA, should have been much more across. Like, fans should at least have a say. Do you want to become someone else's reserves? Some fans might be okay with that. If you look at a team like Palermo, who's part of the City group now, they've been down in the third tier in Italy. Like, they've been completely out of it, and long gone are the glory days of them being like a capable mid-table team in Serie A. They've been completely out of it. The City group have come in, and with being part of that umbrella, with the know-how and the resources that go with that, they've climbed up the leagues, and maybe their fans are happier that way. But it doesn't sit right with me, this idea that clubs are no longer themselves anymore, essentially.
It's talked about all the time in the lower leagues, in National League and Northern Division League 2. And all about them being able to have B teams, you know, in the National League, and or feeder clubs for lower teams, and it just become not yourself. The point is, the point and the beauty of the pyramid. I think that's why it's different in this country. Is the beauty of the pyramid is you are representing, you know,
you could be the top of
town. You could
That's
be the top of the pyramid.
You could.
You are representing your town or your city where you are from, and that is the beauty of it. You're not owned by, you know, something else. You know,
and the fact that there is always some degree of hope. I mean, I'm Norwegian, so this is why I've been obsessed with the Bodø Glimt story, because they're a small, they're a town of like 60,000 people who were in the second tier and who were in tremendous financial trouble, and 10 years later they're beating Roma in Europe. You know, this sort of stuff is actually just about still possible. Doesn't happen very often, but it is possible. The team I support in Norway are in the second tier. We just got relegated from the elite division. I was asking myself, when this Strasbourg story was good doing the rounds now, how would I feel if, for instance, FC Copenhagen, the biggest club in Scandinavia, bought us and we became like their sort of Norwegian farmer team, and they would send us some very talented Danish 19-year-olds, and maybe we would get promoted and we would be slightly better. But every time we had a good player, he would go to Denmark, and every time our coach... Would you be happier like that? I don't think so, because I think you take away the dream, don't you?
Yeah. Exactly. And the dream is all we have. Let's stay with us, Lars. We're looking ahead to all the games in the Premier League. Mark in Nuneaton says, we used to play headers and volleys in my mate's garage until I hit a Mark Hughes special and knocked a box off the shelves which contained his dad's special magazines. He says, 1899. Keep them coming, please. It's Max and Charlie. Lars Sivertsen with us. All the Premier League games on the talkSPORT app, and we'll look ahead to the other 6 in just a second.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it! We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon. Rushden Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Thank you, Charlie. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. I was talking to the listeners, but also to you. Next up, Toolstation. Lars Sivertsen with us. Lars, before we move on from Manchester United, you just wanted to talk about, you were the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer correspondent last time he had the gig, and he might have it again.
Yeah, no, of course, you've seen the reports in various media in the UK that he's in the picture to take over as in the caretaker capacity. The latest reporting in the Norwegian press, the biggest newspaper in Norway, VG, reporting that their information is he's negotiating his contract. They're discussing terms. So this seems to be in a very solid thing, and it looks very, very likely to happen then, because it would be slightly baffling if Solskjaer priced himself out of this sort of arrangement, because he's of course he cares about Manchester United very much, and I'm sure he would love to come back and play a role between now and the end of the season. So that looks very, very likely to go through now.
Interesting. Let's look at some other games. Bournemouth Spurs. Bournemouth without a win in 10. Hello, Dr. Tottenham.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is Bournemouth without a win in 10, but they've been quite decent. They've had a couple of decent performances recently. I thought they put up a very, very good fight against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and they gave Arsenal some trouble in that game. So all is set for Bournemouth to get their first win in a while, I think, against Thomas Frank's Tottenham, who I have to say I've run out of patience with a little bit, just as not even as someone who is of a Tottenham persuasion, but just as someone who thinks, I mean, are you going to commit 90 minutes of your life to watch this team play football? Increasingly, it's hard to make the case for Spurs, because it always just ends up feeling like 90 minutes you could have done with literally anything else. Just do some dishes, I guess, maybe wash the floors. Just if there's some paint you can put on a wall and watch it dry. I mean, that also could be more entertaining.
You've got to give him a window. Surely you've got to give him a window.
It depends on what he wants to do with that window, I think. Listen, I think some of this is not entirely on Thomas Frank. I mean, they do have a squad where there's really no midfielders who seem to have the capacity or disposition to pass the ball forwards, which is a little bit of an issue. So you end up with like long hoofs and give it to Kudus to see if he can dribble someone, try to get a set piece. Some of this is to do with the squad building. So it'd be interesting to see if they make an attempt at signing a midfielder who can pass the ball in January. That seems like an interesting direction the Spurs could go in.
They've got them, haven't they? But they're all injured. They keep getting getting injured.
Yeah, and it might have looked different if you'd had James Maddison and Kulusevski and Dominic Solanke fit the entire season. I get that. But there is something odd about watching a team just not really attempt to play football. I mean, I think that's fine if you're the coach of Brentford, because you have limited resources. But Spurs, I mean, they've got what's the 5th highest revenue in the league. I kind of think that they need to be a little bit more ambitious. I don't think there's much of an excuse for Spurs being quite this poor. I completely understand any Spurs fan who's like considering, do I actually want to spend a lot of time and money watching a team that doesn't seem interested in playing football? Like that needs to change quite soon, I think, if this is going to work for Thomas Frank.
Bizarre set of attacking players they have. It's just bizarre, isn't it? Anyway, Charlie, where were you going now?
I was going to the Talk Radio exclusive that is tonight, because TalkSPORT are covering. TalkSPORT Network are covering all the games tonight, Lars. I don't know if you know this.
Good.
This is live on Talk Radio. Crystal Palace v Aston Villa. I keep thinking Palace are doing great and then not great, and then they're sort of in that group of teams that are on sort of 27 to 30 points, and any one of them can beat anyone on their day, and it's all going to be fine because none of them are going down.
The league table is weird this season, isn't it? Like it's weirder than usual. I feel we have this incredible grouping. I mean, Palace are 14th, but they are just 3 points off of 8th. So I just feel like Sunderland obviously have had a miraculously good season. They're up there in 8th, but they're just 3 points ahead of Crystal Palace, who, like you say, haven't won in ages. Really, 4 points separating Palace in 14th and Chelsea in 5th. This is very, very strange. And I guess...
Whereas Villa have been excellent, haven't they, Lars? There's sustained excellence from them. Really, really good. I mean, not at the start of the season, they weren't good, but then they've gone this... Is it 12 games? I know they lost, not last time out, time before last out, but...
Yeah, they lost to Arsenal, but aside from that...
a great run of form.
Yeah, that's the only game they've not won since the start of November, basically. Yeah. They lost to Liverpool in the 1st of November, and after that, they won every game except for the one against Arsenal. This is an incredible run. And there've been a few results. I've been one of these. I love the numbers, as you all know. I've looked at this and gone, "No, this doesn't quite make sense." But it does seem to be happening every week. And there must be so much confidence in that group. And they've put up good performances recently. I back Villa to do it again, because Palace right now really seem depleted. I think it's tough for Glasner. I don't think they have the squad depth to cope with fighting on 3 fronts with playing in the Conference League as well. Just a couple of injuries, and suddenly that 11 isn't as strong as the first 11 is, and I think that's partially why they've been on this tough run. And I think it could be another win in this sort of incredible run of form for Villa.
Wolves go to Everton. Obviously, Everton lost at home to Brentford last time. Wolves couldn't, could they?
I mean, I'm happy for Wolves that they won a game of football. Listen, 2 games undefeated for Wolves now. They got a draw against United. They beat West Ham, and there had been some positives. I thought they again gave a good account of themselves at Anfield under the circumstances. So maybe Rob Edwards is starting to turn it around. You would be disappointed if you were Everton and Wolves, who recently had some of the worst points. All the sort of looks like one of the worst Premier League teams we've ever seen. If you lose at home to them, but there's been some positive things for Wolves. And if you're a neutral and you end up watching this game, then you've made interesting choices. But certainly, if you do, one of the things that's exciting is Matheus Mane, the young attacking sort of 18-year-old they've got Wolves. I mean, this guy looks like he could be a total star. And yeah, they're getting relegated, but at least him getting a full season playing regularly in the Championship, that could be a fun thing to watch next year.
Rob says Graham Norton's takedown of Spurs was brutal. Gutted that it was also 100% true. Let's make Spurs great again. Bobby in Bristol. Thank you, Lars. And if you got a primetime Saturday night chat show, I would watch it.
Absolutely. All day long.
Well, you would be on it, Max. I would invite you. Of course.
Thanks so much.
Straight on there. In what kind of capacity, we'll have to discuss, but you'd certainly be on.
Excellent. Cheers, Lars. Have a good day.
Anytime, guys.
No invite for me there to the chat show, Max. A bit of a shame.
No, that's true. But, you get on the last leg, don't you?
I do now and again.
Dressed as a kumquat
or a Christmas tree or something. Yeah.
So look, Burnley, Manchester United on talkSPORT, Fulham, Chelsea's on talkSPORT 2. All the other games on the talkSPORT app, apart from Palace, Villa, which is on Talk Radio. So the commentators have to do a phone in on immigration while they're doing commentary of the game as well. So that'll be fun. It is Max and Charlie with you on talkSPORT until 4. Narin Chowry, author, broadcaster, Manchester United fan, will join us in a sec. Hello, Max and Charlie. Trevor the trucker here. I love hearing from Lars. I'm having trouble trying to figure out if he's Norwegian, Scottish, or Irish. Maybe you could shed some light up the topics. Norwegian man, is the answer to that. But yes, does sound quite Irish. So you are forgiven, Trevor. And the key thing is that you like him. Love
He
him.
learned his English listening to Barry Glendenning podcasts. That's all he did. Then eventually,
Paul says, I'm listening on medium wave. Can you please repeat slowly what Charlie was dressed at on the last leg?
Too long a list. Too long a list.
Yeah. Anyway, Max and Charlie with you till 4. Narin Chowry joined us in just a second. Author, broadcaster, Man United fan. Before that, here's Max Scott with the sport.
talkSPORT Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Thank you, Max. Good afternoon. In a time of crisis, it looks like Manchester United are turning yet again to one of their legends. We understand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is close to taking the full-time interim role at the club, a decision which baffles Simon Jordan.
I mean, this is a guy they fired and paid 10 million to go out the door. Replaced him with Ralph Rangnick and paid him 14 million to go out the door 6 months later. What are they doing at this football club? What kind of decisions are they making? I mean, I'm sure he's a fabulous fellow. I'm sure that he's the most pleasant fellow you could ever come across, but the leader he's not.
Despite that, talkSPORT sources suggest the decision to appoint Solskjaer is backed by senior pros in the United dressing room, but longer term, they are looking for a permanent manager. Oliver Glasner's bookies favourites. He says he can't bet on it because he's not allowed, and he's keeping his cards close to his chest.
I also can't give insider information because then I'm breaking my contract. So again, I'm a Crystal Palace manager, and I think it just makes no sense and it's wasted time also for you to ask me any more questions. So I don't talk about any other club than about Crystal Palace.
With West Ham now 7 points off safety and Nuno Espirito Santo's future hanging in the balance, former Hammers boss Harry Redknapp told us whether he'd be willing to take the reins.
I'd work for nothing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'd go in. I love it. I'd go in anywhere. That's not be West Ham. I'd go anywhere. If someone rang me up, I'd go and do it for nothing. I really would. I'd enjoy it. You know, it's not the money. I'd enjoy going in and being around the players. I love it.
We understand West Ham will consider changing managers for the second time this season, with former manager Slaven Bilic a contender to replace him.
talkSPORT News.
A fresh amber danger to life wind warning has been issued as the UK prepares for Storm Goretti, and it's understood the sanctioned Venezuelan oil tanker has been successfully seized by the US.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With a huge range of premium brands available, we've got what you need to drive away happy every time. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Plenty of dry weather around with some sunshine, sleet and snow showers across northern and northeastern Scotland. Rain expected in the southwest later.
It's like the two detectives.
Spy music.
Exactly. They say, surely you can't take us off the case, Chief.
We
We're doing
don't
such a good
play by the
job."
rules, Chief.
Yeah. Just give us one more chance. Anyway, it is Max and Charlie with you until 4. So Burnley Manchester United live on talkSPORT tonight, 8:15 kickoff. Heard there Max saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks like he's coming back. Darren Fletcher in the dugout tonight for that game. Let's have a listen to some of his press conference from yesterday.
Don't like to make any major decisions or things without speaking to Sir Alex, and that's something I've done since I've been at the club and since I've left the club. And everything I do, I've got a really good relationship with Sir Alex, so it's probably the first person that phoned actually, so I wanted to speak to him first and ultimately to get his blessing, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he deserves that respect. I wanted to run it by him what he thought, and he was supportive of it, and he echoed my thoughts, which I've always said. It's your job to do the best for Manchester United. When you're an employee of the club, it's your job to do your best for Manchester United. And it's something that, it's amazing when he says something that I try and live and believe every day. So it was comforting for me for him to say that.
All big decisions does feel like we're taking. I'm thinking about, should I have a third child? I'll ring Sir Alex. You know,
I mean,
I'm doing
depends
the
when
big
you ring,
shop.
Depends at what point in that decision you ring him. I don't think he'd want to take the call at every single time.
Hang on. Anyway, let's talk to Narin Chowry at Bearded Genius on social media. Author, broadcaster, host of The Good Days Are Coming, a Manchester United podcast. Hey, Nars, welcome.
Hello, Nars.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you.
Very good. I see you, and the good days are coming with you, Justin Morehouse, and the other Jim White. What did you? What do you think about Solskjaer coming back? As you know, in your good days are coming sort of schedule. Where's that?
I think, I mean, we might as well just sort of rewind and sort of like have a repeat of all the conversations we were having back then, because it feels like we will have Solskjaer for a while, and then we'll have Rangnick, and then we'll have Ten Hag, and we'll just go around the Rolodex again and again. So it's a bit of a strange one. But I mean, I'm not entirely surprised, because seeing as Radcliffe seems to be slightly obsessed with the Overlap podcast, Solskjaer is the one guest that's been on there twice. So maybe that's where it's come from.
That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, all that looking back, I look back at all the Man United managers that have been in since Sir Alex the other day, and David Moyes, the first one out the traps. And you do look at it and go, should have just stuck. Should have just stuck there. That seems to be that was the answer. You got the answer right first time round. I don't think he was playing great, but I think he came fifth, I think, in his first season. Which I know was not the Man United way at the time, but now feels like very much the Man United way. And I don't know if the idea was that you have David Moyes in for a bit, and then you have this sort of pipeline of other managers who go out and learn their trade, your Nevilles, your Rooneys, your Scholes, elsewhere, and come back in and work under Moyes. I don't know if that was always the way, but Moyes seemed to be the answer in a long-winded way.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure anyone was the answer as such. It was just different questions being asked of each sort of person coming in. It just feels as if it's mess upon mess, and every single time a manager comes in, they've got their own philosophy and their own ways of doing stuff. They're given a bit of money, so they slap their layers of sort of players onto the squad, and then somebody else comes in, they bring their players in. So you've got a really expensive squad now, and it's just got the remnants of everyone's leftovers of like the players that they signed or they wanted, and the club's got zero identity now. And then the irony of the last manager is he was one manager who actually had a very definitive and sort of sure idea of what he wanted and what identity he wanted, and they sort of they let him have free reign on that sort of formation and that idea for 18 or 14 months, and now that's been ditched. So the next person will come in and have their own ideas. There's no through line at all.
And within that, Jason Wilcox, who obviously most of us just think quite a good left winger back in the day, but like Ruben Amorim could lose to Grimsby, he could go on these terrible runs, the football could be bad, but that's all fine. But if you cross the path of Jason Wilcox, that is it.
I don't know if you've seen this quote that's come to light in the last 24 hours, where I think he was talking to ex-players at some sort of event in I think October or November, and he said, "I'm a coach at heart. I'm a coach inside. It can cause problems because I always want to interfere with what the manager is doing."
Yeah.
And that is not good for. I mean, first of all, it sort of tells you so much about what went wrong towards the end with Amorim, but also it kind of makes you worry about the future, because I mean, I've mentioned this before, but like this idea of like blurred lines and basically everyone overstepping their position. Because first of all, with all due respect to Jason Wilcox, like who is he to dictate to the manager what formation to play and what players to use? He doesn't have to face the press. He doesn't have to face scrutiny. He is not the manager. He's not the head coach either. And this whole idea of like was Amorim a head coach or a manager? Even if he was just a head coach, give him that autonomy to do that.
Yeah.
And then also you've got Radcliffe, who is far too involved and far too accessible. There was a piece in the Atlantic where in the Athletic where basically Lisandro Martinez is going up to Radcliffe and trying to sell the idea of Emi Martinez coming to United, and it's like, why are those two chatting about transfers?
Yeah.
And why is presumably Ratcliffe so enamoured by Gary Neville and Gary Neville's podcast, and sort of referring to that when it comes to Amorim. It's everyone just needs to sort of like have their own sort of territory defined, and then you can go forward, and then it's clear who's doing what. Because now you've got a situation, you're either going to get a patsy who's in the position and is essentially just a puppet for Wilcox and co, or you want a high prestige, high sort of like caliber manager, and they're not going to stand for anyone telling them how to do their job.
Yeah. Jim Ratcliffe's not the first, and he definitely won't be the last businessman who's got involved in football, because it offers some glamour, it offers some excitement that isn't pushing numbers around. And that's what a lot of businessmen want. Once they make all the money you could ever spend, they want glamour and excitement and people to go, wow, you're amazing, and what a great thing you're doing, and to be in the papers. And that's what it feels like Jim Ratcliffe's got now. He's like, okay, here you are. You own a part of one of the biggest clubs in the world. All the eyes are on you, and yet you're making these odd decisions. Do you think Amorim will finally want the job by the summer? Do you think it is? Because didn't he say he didn't want it when he first got it? He was tried to put it off for a bit
to come back,
and then maybe this summer is when he goes, actually, I probably should have done that and wanted harder. That. My actual question is, who do you think next? Who's going to come in after the selection of Man United legends that come in next?
Well, there's been a lot of sort of talk, good and bad, of the possibility of someone like Solskjaer coming in, doing what he did last time, of like having a run of good games, perhaps even qualifying for Europe or the Champions League, and therefore them deciding that they keep him on. I can't believe, and again, this is famous last words, I can't believe they'd be that stupid as to think that is the answer. And of all the possible candidates in all the world, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the most qualified to do that. So I'd hope that's not the case. I just think it's such a, I don't know about you two, but I actually think the managerial sort of like market out there is really thin. There's no obvious options out there. There's not an obvious Klopp or an obvious
Klopp,
Guardiola or someone like that.
There is
Klopp is an obvious.
Why not? Yeah,
but I suppose the question is, Noz, is there somebody good enough who would actually want to go and do it? Why would you go?
It's the only thing United have got at the moment they are Manchester United and
in the FA Cup third round, the following Saturday, the Manchester Derby live on Talks. What is this? Talk Manchester United. There are other clubs,
Talk Devils
in this league. Anyway, you are listening to Rushden Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Toolstation. Vittorio Angelone, Italian-Irish comedian, Celtic fan, nutmegged Berbatov the other day. We'll talk to him about that in just a second.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it! We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology, Rico.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT here until 4. Very pleased to say the comedian, Celtic fan and footballer, Vittorio Angelone is in the studio. Vittorio, welcome.
He can't hear you. He's not got headphones on. I forgot to give him some headphones.
Oh, I see.
What an idiot.
That's an issue. Do you want to say?
What an idiot.
Do you want to say hello to him, Charlie?
Well, say something. Say something. What a disaster.
He's quite shy,
Is it my job to hand over? Is it my problem to hand over? Here he is. Hang on. Is that any good now?
Is
Can
it
you hear
mime?
Max?
Nope.
You can't hear
Hello,
Max.
Vittorio.
What a nightmare.
Hello, how are you?
This is the worst start to an interview.
Why don't you talk
of
to
all
him,
time.
Charlie?
I'll talk to
You're
him.
there.
They're
You
going
talk to him.
They'll sort it out now. Hello, Vittorio. How are you?
I'm very well.
It's
How
very
are
nice to have you in the studio. Why don't they sort you out some headphones? Celtic fan, comedian, and xylophone player.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about the xylophone first.
In a former life, I was a classical percussionist, so I've played at the proms and done all sorts of mad stuff. But I hated carrying things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of carrying things if you're a percussionist.
It's like 90% carrying things.
It's
10%.
It's 10% playing, 90% loading into a Volvo.
And I just thought, no, I love comedy because you show up and you don't need anything.
Don't need anything. So, at the start of your career, not even jokes, Victoria, but you've got better a lot.
Shots fired immediately.
No, you have had a massive. You are really, really good now, and you always were really, really funny.
I mean, you were hopeless
but
before.
You've got,
I mean, not that Vittorio can hear me, but you know.
No, he can't. It just sounds like you're a voice in my ear at the moment. Max, is a bit of a shame.
This is like one of those Ant and Deck things.
Now ask him this. Tell him he's a terrible comedian, and now be nice to him.
You have to soften it. You have to soften it.
I'll listen to this bit. It's
For the
fine.
listener,
You carry
the
on,
producer
Charlie.
is staring at these cables like someone who's never seen cables.
You are incredible online. Your stuff is incredible. Your clips are. You've really gone out and found your own audience online.
Yeah.
Was that a decision that you made?
Yeah, I think it comes from fear.
Yeah.
Of like, there's no way anyone's going to hire me to do anything. I'm a former xylophone player. Oh, we might have headphones.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, this is the option to just go build it myself, put the stuff out online, and then hopefully somebody likes it. And if the sort of gatekeepery people in inverted commas, if they want to book me for a TV show or do any of that stuff, then good, that'll be a nice bonus. But this is the only thing that I can control, so I'm going to do that.
Wise thinking. Max, speak. See if he can hear you.
Well, Victoria, hello, just in case.
Yes.
Good start.
Yes.
Over. Can you hear me?
Now stop saying all those things about him.
The good thing is we don't lie that I'm in a shed in Melbourne, right? Because if we did, this would have been a really weird situation where the guy won't talk to me. What have I done? Listen, look, we should talk about your tour, but I would like to talk about you nutmegging Dimitar Berbatov, because
I'd like to talk about that as well.
I mean, this is a wonderful clip. Can you set the scene for us? Where are we? What happened?
It's a charity football match in Belfast, and it's a bunch of comedians against a bunch of sort of ex-pros, and There's a sort of who's who of these sort of classics. It's like Jermaine Pennant, Jermaine Beckford, Ryan Giggs is there, Berbatov. And I think Berbatov was the real one. When he walked in, everyone went, oh my God.
This is the real thing.
That's Berbatov. That's actual Berbatov, whose name we used to shout if we brought the ball down even at all well on the school playground. We were like, Berbatov, Berbatouch, there we go. And I picked up the ball, and it's only in hindsight since I've watched the clip, I've realised that I was the last defender. And Berbatov sort of comes
makes
towards
it better.
And I just go, I'm going to go for it. Because if he scores, that's what he's supposed to do. He's Dimitar Berbatov. But if I nutmeg him, I'm going to tell everyone every time I'm on a radio show.
Yeah. Now, there are a few things here which are great. One is, right, you do nutmeg him. There's an issue with it, which we'll get to because I don't want to take away from the joy. You have the presence of mind to pass the ball, and then you run off like Tardelli mid-game, which is absolutely sensational.
Aura loss, I believe the young people say. Immediate aura loss.
Yeah, negative aura, I would say. I mean, I would love to have just walked away and sort of popped my collar like Cantona and shrugged, but I did a full lap of the pitch.
Yeah, good for you. But here's the question now. Are you slightly upset that it does just flick his heel? So I mean, I don't want to be a pedant about this, but like, do you wake up at night going, it's not pure because it does just flick his heel, or am I splitting hairs there? Because I've never nutmegged Dimitar Berbatov.
Well, this is the problem of there's pros and cons to it being filmed in super slow-mo. Number one, I don't think, for my own ego or for my own life, like, this should just be a story that I tell at the pub and nobody believes me. I shouldn't have evidence of this. Bonus, I do have evidence in super slow-mo and it's really, really funny. But the downside of that is I can't just say I nutmegged Berbatov, is I get comments on Twitter, people going, oh, well, it actually clipped his heel. And then
oh no, I'm one of those.
And somebody,
that's what you sounded like.
And somebody,
that voice.
Somebody had the audacity to comment, well, he's not a defender. And I was like, well, I'm not a footballer.
Dimitar Berbatov.
And what's quite funny is he did such a small amount of defending throughout his whole career that I've trolled YouTube. I think I'm the only person to ever nutmeg Dimitar.
Oh wow,
that's really good, isn't it? You are a Celtic fan.
Yeah.
For now, I am sick of it.
But I mean, Wilfred Nancy must have been great for content, not necessarily for football. How have you found the last 2 months?
I like that sort of sports pundits have, for the last 10, 15 years particularly, spent a lot of time making sure they're pronouncing people's names properly, how they would want to pronounce them. And then Nancy showed up at Celtic and everyone went, we'll just call him Nancy, actually. I don't think
can't be bothered. Well, we've got Liam, who I've always called Liam Rosenior.
Of course.
But I call Leroy Rosenior was Torquay manager, and I've shouted at both these men from the. I've been shouting his name wrong his whole life.
It's like it's Nader Manua as well. Nader Manua is Nader Manua. But eventually you just go, oh, well, everyone's just saying it. I'm not going to
say it. I don't want to say it like that. Yeah. Let's talk about your tour, Vittorio.
Yes. Yeah, please.
2026 UK tour announced, 25 shows from the Friday the 16th of Jan to the Sunday the 29th of March. And you're going all over the place, including London's Apollo. Hammersmith Apollo.
Well, this is the thing about the gatekeepers.
Which is an unbelievable room for comedy. Absolutely brilliant. And the fact that you're going to play there and the gatekeepers, I don't know if they've let you on Live at the Apollo yet.
No.
They should do. But you're Live at the Apollo on your own back.
I'm really tempted to get a big sort of bed sheet version of the lights, like the bulbs that say Live at the Apollo.
You don't need that.
And just spend all the money from the show rebuilding their set. And then, they pump it full of smoke and then I lift it up and it's actually just all my mates vaping behind me. But yeah, touring around the UK and Ireland, excited. It's a show I did at the Fringe in August just passed, and I think it's my best show. But I would.
Comedians always say that about the show they're currently doing, and then they look back and they go, "Actually, it wasn't my best show. That one I did in 2019 was really good. Actually, a lot more thought through." This now feels like 20 minutes crowd
Charlie,
work.
let him at least say it's the best one until it's finished. You know.
No, Vittorio's brilliant. He knows he's brilliant. He's on the up. He's on the upswing. He's going to be great.
Very, very exciting. I think it's a fun show. I'm going bells and whistles. I think I was conscious when I was building this show in the lead up to the Fringe that so many people are touring now. The number of comedians are out on the road, and I think there's a lot of competition. So it's a lot of bells and whistles. I've got like lighting cues and sound stuff, and I've got a little band on the road with me. Yeah. So there's music, there's comedy, there's all sorts. I'm really sort of pulling out all the stops to be like, I understand people maybe are only going to go to 1 or 2 comedy tour shows every year, and I want to make it feel like mine was worth that sort of punt on.
Yeah, that's quite old school in a way, isn't it? Taking a band out with you and doing everything you've got in your bag, because people used to do that a lot. They'd finish on a song, they'd do a little dance, whatever, make a little love, get down tonight. I don't know why I went into that song, but some shows they do, especially in Amsterdam. I had you more down as a sort of modern, old school, wear jeans, tell the truth sort of guy. But
well, I think the most of the show is this kind of like man and mic thing, but there is a running joke in the show that people think I've rejected the TV industry and the gatekeepers, and in it I say I can't explain how much I'm trying to get on TV. So in the show I'm wearing a suit, I've got a band, I'm like, what more do you want? I'm tap dancing, what more do you want from me?
Stacky the Blue Note says, absolute shambles, you pair sound like you've won a competition to interview a celebrity.
That isn't our fault. That wasn't our fault. That wasn't our fault.
I don't think it was our fault. I think we did a wonderful job, Charlie. I think the three of us together, actually, I think it was a
Anonymous says, never thought I'd hear my comedy crush on talkSPORT, of all places. That's anonymous.
Oh.
Wow.
They like to keep themselves anonymous.
We can give you their number if you want to text them later.
That'll be
I don't think we're allowed. Yeah.
So look, we've got to wrap this up, but we've not said anything that's helpful at all to Vittorio Angelone. You can't say nothing anymore. That's your special that is on...
No, that's the tour.
That's the tour. Come on, do the research. That's the tour. That's the tour. And you've got a special that's on YouTube as well.
Who do you think you are? I am. So if you're not sold on me based on this shambles of an interview, you can check out my stuff on YouTube.
I thought this was great fun. I thought we were being loose and great fun.
Hey, thanks, Vittorio. Thanks for coming in, pal. Do come again.
I appreciate it.
Lovely. Vittorio Angelone there. You can't say nothing anymore. Go and see him. Go onto his Instagram and you can see him. Brilliant. Nutmegging Dimitar Berbatov. And you can tell me if I should have been a pedant or I shouldn't. 8:29. Max and Charlie with you till 4.
talkSPORT understands that Manchester United are in advanced talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's closing in on becoming their full-time interim coach. Michael Carrick and Ruud van Nistelrooy have been sounded out, with Carrick potentially joining Solskjaer as an assistant. But talkSPORT's Alex Crook doesn't think the nostalgia will be the best medicine.
I mean, what does it say about Ineos? You know, they came in promising to change the direction of travel of the football club. The fact they're willing to take a step back in time by hiring either Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick. And you have to remember, as good as it was at the start for Solskjaer, it was really depressing.
Exactly. Darren Fletcher will be in the dugout tonight as they go to Burnley, live on talkSPORT. Meanwhile, what's West Ham's best bet when it comes to closing their 7-point gap? Throw off the shackles and all-out attack, or as Alan Pardew says, sign a big bad centre-half to shore things up? Here's Danny Murphy.
To some clean sheets, nicking a few points, then nicking the odd win. Set plays, they've got some big lads, and fight their way back. You're not going to do it by turning on a switch of high-energy attacking football that then steamrollers teams. They don't have the players to do it.
Some Hammers fans have rung in to blame David Moyes and his legacy, but Simon Jordan's not buying that line of argument.
David Moyes has gone into Everton with no real financial support in Everton besides a new owner coming in the summer, taken them away from relegation at a canter last year and put them 12th from the table. They're 14 points above West Ham.
Remember, all 8 Premier League matches are live across the talkSPORT network and app this evening.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT here until 4, unless we're taken off air after that last absolute shambolic interview.
It was excellent interview, wasn't
It was good fun. We'll be more professional now. Let's talk about the cricket. So England will resume tomorrow morning. Australia 302 for 8, 119 runs ahead. Let's talk to former England wicketkeeper Matt Pryor. Hey Matt, how are you?
How are we, guys? How are we doing?
Very well, thank you,
really
Matt.
good. I mean, Test cricket gives and it takes away, doesn't it? And it's taken away a lot this series. And then today, you know, you had the Will Jacks wicket and you're like, oh, man. Then you had the Jamie Smith run out. So should we focus on the positive for a bit? Jacob Bethel batting in a way that makes me think, Matt, England will win every Ashes Test now for the next 20 years. He will do it single-handedly, this guy.
Well, like Joe Root.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Yeah, but it's a good point.
He's an extraordinary. I mean, first thing I'm going to say is this Ashes series, if I had had a full head of hair, I would definitely not have now, because it's just been. And again, so frustrating because it's what may have been. This Australian team is not that good. It really isn't. The bowling lineup, you know, without their superstars, absolutely, who've hardly played, it really isn't. And England, I don't care what they say, will get on their aeroplane back home and rue this last few weeks as a huge missed opportunity. But positivity, Jacob Bethel, absolutely amazing. You know, again, it's how he played. You know, I know our sort of the old-fashioned, washed-up has-beens like myself are talking about tempo in Test cricket and not just going crash, bang, wallop and bazball and everything else. But if you look at the strike rates, and Bethel's strike rate, it was sort of 60-odd, 62, something like that. Root's was 61, Steve Smith, 63. So in and around that, now I was never one for like playing defensive cricket at all. Positivity is a great thing and the way forward. But but you have to give yourself a chance. And that's what Jacob Bethel did. And you have to be good enough to give yourself a chance. You have to have the technique. You have to be able to defend at times and then go through the gears, attack. Then a bowler bowls a good spell or it's a new ball, then you defend again. That is the art and the craft of batting in Test cricket. And England have to get back to that as a unit.
Yeah, and actually, I think you're absolutely right, because there were moments, this idea, it's not just, somebody like Travis Head, of course, just sort of, he gets his eye for 10 balls and then goes or whatever. And you sort of thought, oh, well, Beth will be like that. He'll be sensible for 20 balls and then just go. But he didn't, because Stark bowled a really short spell and he didn't take it on all the time. He just looked like someone who was much older than he is. Yeah. He didn't look like that because he looks young, but the way he batted, and he has a grace about him, which, you mentioned Joe Root has the same, just like that cover drive that makes you think, this is why I love this game.
Yeah. And if you have a look at Travis Head as a great example, he's a serious player, right? And great eye for the ball and smashes it. And he's great entertainment and brilliant to watch. What's his Test average? 42, 45, something like that? We're going to want Jacob Bethel to be averaging 55, a Joe Root-esque type career. And to do that, you need to be more consistent, and to get that consistency, you need to have a technique and a tempo, I think, that will survive Test cricket, which is exactly how he played in this innings, which was phenomenal. But look, there's no doubt about it, Jacob Bethel is a huge talent for the future, and has been one of the few highlights this series and positives for England.
And carry on, Charlie.
I don't know if it's the same for you as an ex-pro, Matt, that the frustration for me of this series is we've been building up to this series for what feels like 2 or 3 years, and we seem to have sort of thrown other series for this. A bit like when in a football team when a manager rests players for the big match at the weekend and then they lose the big match at the weekend. I feel like we've been building up to this. People getting fit again for this and all that, and then we've got here and it's just all the problems we knew about going in. Just it didn't work. Oh well, it just feels like it's been thrown away.
Yes, absolutely, and I think for a lot of people watching on, certainly ex-players looking in, it's been met with so much frustration, because I think this isn't a capitulation that we didn't see coming, because we know the art of Test cricket, we know the craft that goes into winning Test series, particularly in Australia, and what goes with that. 2010-11 was the last time we won there. Why would you not emulate what that team did? How they got under the Australian skin, how they beat them, how they batted long, how they bowled with consistency and accuracy and were relentless in the field with an intensity. You have to be more intense. You have to be more aggressive than Australia. Going in there with a sort of laissez-faire approach of let's just have a go, this is how I play. If I nick one, never mind, was never going to work, I don't think. And that's sort of been proven. So again, there's a huge amount of frustration around that, because their preparation, I don't care who tries to defend it, has not been good enough in any way, shape or form. I would not have sent a single Ashes cricketer to New Zealand for that one-day series that no one even watched or heard about or knows about. Why they did that, I don't know. I would have sent them all to Australia 4 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And gone, get accustomed, get acclimatised. Let's go play some matches against some,
But it's not even hindsight. It's not even hindsight, Max. We can say, this is after timing. This is Monday morning quarterback. This was talked about pre. Why aren't they planning? This was talked about.
I think there's been an attempt to reinvent a wheel that didn't need reinventing, really, and it's sort of been found out. And now I hope that England management will go back to when it comes to Test cricket and go, right, okay, we understand the fanfare around white ball cricket and 2020 and it's taking over the world, etc., etc. But if Test cricket still means something to us and winning the Ashes in Australia is still the holy grail, which I hope it is, then we need to get back to basics of what it means to win test matches consistently in tough environments.
Interesting. Sorry to interrupt. It was interesting. I think Cummings and maybe Travis Head, I'm not sure, were offered like 10 million a year to just get rid of, stop playing Test cricket and just do franchise stuff. You think, God, and within that context, McCullum saying, we need players to enjoy this, right? Because the other opportunities are so great that Test cricket has to be fun. They have to enjoy themselves. The tour has to be fun. You've toured, right? It's arduous. Yeah, we'd all dream to be an elite sports person, but it's hard when you're there. And so you've got to find a balance between having a good time and preparing properly. And I don't know what that balance is. You're right. And you also need young people, without sounding like a grey-haired middle-aged man that I happen to be, to love Test cricket like I love Test cricket. And those things aren't. So that is actually I totally agree with you on preparation. And it's interesting that McCullum and Key look like they're going to stay, but hopefully they would have learnt from this, because they do have a slightly tricky balancing act.
They do, and that's not a challenge you can take lightly, and I think all the points you make are fair. I think one thing I would say, the first answer to that is the most fun I had on a cricket pitch and the most enjoyment I ever had was when we beat Australia or beat India, or became the #1 Test team in the world, and oval having beers with your mates after having put in a monumental amount of blood, sweat and tears to achieve something. Like, that's actually okay. To be able to work hard and be out of your comfort zone and put yourself out there for your teammates, that's kind of part and parcel of being a professional sportsman, right? Now, and actually the reward is so much more when you have worked really hard for something and you know what you've done. I will never forget the moment we sat in the SCG, having just won the Ashes in Australia for the first time in 25 years, or whatever it was. And all of us, to a man, recounted stories of what it took for us individually to be firstly part of that team, the sacrifices, the challenges, the questioning of yourself, your ability, your mentality, and everything else. And to sit there as that group of men, having had just accomplished that, was the greatest feeling you could ever want in sport, money aside. Now, but I do take the point, has that now gone? Because we at that point weren't offered 10 million quid to go and play white ball cricket. And I do think, and I've said for a while now, the powers that be will look at, right, we've got to make Test cricket more fun because we need spectators and we need, it's all about people watching the game, which I completely get. But I'll tell you what's more important, if you don't have the players in the first place, no one's going to watch, right? And these superstars, I was looking at a few England cricketers, I don't want to name names, but they were standing on the outfields in Australia, copping it, and you could see them going, I don't need this, actually. Do I want this? I could just be a franchise cricketer, go and earn fortunes, go have a little dart, in 2020 and live a really nice life. And you know what? You couldn't blame me. You absolutely couldn't blame me. Because the one thing, you have to make a choice as a cricketer. If you want to play Test cricket and you want to win in places like Australia, then there is no getting away from the hard work. There is no getting away from the challenge, the turmoil. But if you can do that and you make the right decisions, the rewards are there and are phenomenal.
And you can sit on the SCG pitch, like you said, and that is worth more than anything, I guess. Hey, Matt, beautifully put. Thank you for coming on, pal.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Cheers.
Former England wicketkeeper Matt Pryor. But yeah, Bethel's knock, if you haven't seen it, go and watch the highlights. It was absolutely sensational. So some hope. Don't forget, closing this Friday, talkSPORT celebrating 2026 by giving you the chance to win £26,000. Head to talksport.com/win to find out how to enter. Crookie joins us in just a second. We'll do some transfer stuff.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it! We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Rushden Baker on talkSPORT between now and 4. Time now for a transfer update with Intuit QuickBooks.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
Football correspondent Alex Crook is here. Hey, Crookie.
Hello, Crookie.
Good afternoon, boys.
Afternoon.
So where should we start? Solskjaer to Man United?
Yeah. Probably not something that any of us thought we'd be discussing this time last week, but that does seem to be the way it's heading. Obviously, Manchester United have a massive game away at Burnley live on talkSPORT tonight. We know that Darren Fletcher will be in the dugout for that one. We know there have been advanced talks with Solskjaer. They've sounded out Michael Carrick and Ruud van Nistelrooy as well, but it does seem Solskjaer in the box seat, and I wonder if there might be a role for Michael Carrick coming back to the club as well. But this really is back to the future as far as Manchester United are concerned. Carrick actually replaced Solskjaer for his interim stint after Solskjaer was sacked after 3 years in charge. So, listen, I sort of understand why waiting until the summer brings a bigger pool of managers for United, the likes of Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, Oliver Glasner, potentially at Palace as well. But I'm fascinated to see how this worked out, because obviously Ollie came in, replaced Jose Mourinho, did give the supporters and the dressing room a lift initially, but it didn't end very well. I was at Watford when United got battered at Vicarage Road, and the reaction to Solskjaer and his players at full time was one of toxicity. So let's see how this works out. Didn't he go
on like a record-breaking unbeaten run or something when he was there last time?
Yeah, he had a really good start, culminating in that brilliant win in Paris. But you have to look at it. It was quite a kind set of fixtures that he had during his interim spell. And even that PSG game, if you go back, I think that was one where Marcus Rashford scored the penalty. It was a shot that was going miles into stands.
Yes,
that hit one of the PSG players on the hand. It wasn't really a handball, and that was when Rio Ferdinand went on television and said, give him a 10-year contract. And well, the board reacted, didn't they? Listen, I love Ollie as a player. He'll always be a Manchester United hero for what he did in that treble-winning season, and most notably in the Champions League final. But I don't know.
How much DNA is too much DNA? That's the question. Look, it's interesting for players who weren't, in Amorim's plans, who may now be interested. Kobbie Mainoo, of course, is always a headline.
Yeah, he's the big one. And listen, I do think it is a coincidence that he's possibly back in the squad tonight. We know he's been back training on the grass, but I still think had Ruben Amorim have remained in charge, then he was looking to leave the club this month. We know there's interest from Napoli, where the United old boys go and revive their career. The likes of Scott McTominay and Rasmus Højlund have done very well over there. But I think now that Ruben Amorim has gone, we know that the board didn't want to sanction a permanent deal because they still see Kobbie Mainoo as a big part of their future. So I think he will stay, and I think he will be given game time now, whoever is in charge.
Elsewhere, Bournemouth play Spurs tonight. Antoine Semenyo, annoyingly for me, is going to play for Bournemouth. It's quite interesting, to play games before, you make a big move like this.
I'm getting injured.
It is, and actually, if you go back to the summer, we spent a lot of time during that transfer window talking about Alexander Isak, the fact he was AWOL from Newcastle's training ground. Then Johan Wissa was not training as well because he was trying to force for a move. Antoine Semenyo has done the complete opposite. He gave Bournemouth his word, as I understand it, that he would keep on playing until such time as his release clause came into being and was activated, as it has been by Manchester City. He's got a medical there tomorrow. The clause expires on January the 10th, so that deal will get done, and this will be the end of what's been a long farewell for Antoine Semenyo. I think the most impressive element for me is that he was on 4 yellow cards and walking that tightrope, knowing that one more booking would lead to a suspension, and he's made sure that hasn't happened, even though probably it would have been easier for him to be watching from the stands and therefore not having the risk of injuries. He's a terrific professional, great character, and I hope for his sake he does really well at Manchester City.
West Ham looking to sell goalkeeper Mads Hermansen. I felt sorry for him. I like Alphonse Areola. I think he's really, really good goalkeeper. I think he played great last night. Yes, he punched someone in the head, but that used to be okay because they didn't used to do VAR it. You'd be like, oh, well, he caught him with one. The game's gone, Alex, don't you think?
Well, it certainly wasn't a penalty for me, but I'm not as convinced as you by Alphonse Areola's goalkeeping skills, I have to say.
He's also on this French property program that I like to watch. This family, this family of estate agents, and they sell really nice property in Paris and around France. But there's a episode where they're in London, and it's Areola's family, and he's looking for I think it's 6 beds for 7 million. And it's a good episode. So maybe I like him because of that more than his goalkeeping.
To be honest, for every million I spend, I like to get a bedroom. So I'm not interested.
Anyway, I bet you've warmed the cockles of those West Ham fans' hearts.
They'll be thrilled with that. Maybe they could go and watch that episode just to. Anyway, sorry, carry on. Mads Hermansen, a man I've only just heard of in the last 1 minute when I read his name.
Yeah. This is another story in the transfer notebook this week. He was signed because Graham Potter wanted him and wanted a new goalkeeper. He played 4 games in the Premier League. He let in 14 goals before he was dropped, and obviously Graham Potter was sacked soon after. They're looking at a Brazilian goalkeeper. He's playing over in Saudi with Al Nassr, Bento, and I think if he comes in, then Mads Hermansen, just 5 months after they paid £15 million to take him from Leicester, will be allowed to move. I think it's a really interesting transfer window for West Ham. They've signed a couple of strikers already, which suggests they are backing Nuno Espirito Santo, but I keep hearing rumours that his job is in real jeopardy because they've barely won a game since he came in. Callum Wilson, as a result of those 2 strikers coming in, wants to tear up his contract and go and play for somebody else. They're looking at Charlie Cresswell, England under-21 defender playing over in France. So that they're doing their best to give whoever is in charge the funds to mount some kind of survival act. But a lot of West Ham fans that I'm talking to think they should be saving the money because they're already doomed to the Championship. And if you're paying £26 million to bring a striker in Castellano from Serie A, what are you going to do with him when you are in the second tier?
Quick one on Spurs. They made an offer for, is it a left-back, Sousa from Santos? Are they going to get a midfielder who can pass it forwards, Crookie? Ideally before 7:30 tonight.
Well, they were expected to be one of the busier clubs in this transfer window, but at the moment it's just Brennan Johnson obviously going out to Crystal Palace, which leaves them a bit short, actually, because Kudus is injured and Johnson probably would have played tonight. So I did wonder about the wisdom of that departure at the time, bearing in mind he was the top goal scorer last season. But yeah, Sousa, 19-year-old left-back from Santos. They had one offer of £8 million rejected. talkSPORT can exclusively report that they put a second bid in of €15 million. The player is keen to make the move, but this feels very much like one for the future as opposed to the here and now. And if you're Thomas Frank, who obviously isn't the darling of the Tottenham fans, shall we say, I think he would want a few more proven players to come in. And João Paulinho is fascinating because obviously he's on loan. I think a few weeks ago it was pretty much a given that Spurs were going to activate the £26 million option to make that loan from Bayern Munich permanent. I'm just hearing a few whispers now. Maybe they're not so keen, and Fulham, actually, his former club, are waiting in the wings.
Interesting. Thanks, Crookie. Have a good day.
You, Crookie.
Cheers, boys.
Alex Crook there. Yes. How many million and how many bedrooms? That's a good question, isn't it? Max and Charlie with you until 4. And we'll have the sports headlines next. Good afternoon. You are listening to talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Charlie Baker with you until 4. Let's get the sports headlines with Max Scott.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Thank you, Max. Good afternoon. Manchester United might be turning to one of their legends to steady the ship. We understand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's close to becoming their full-time interim manager, but Simon Jordan says United's willingness to appoint a man they sacked a few years ago exposes what a sorry state the club is in.
The only thing that's there is the memory of Man United right now. And to bring back this idea of people that have played for the football club, just because they played for the football club, just because they were a substitute that scored a memorable goal in the European Cup final of 1999, is, for me, is a fool's errand. But if that's what they think is the best solution for the time being, they've made dreadful decisions.
Despite that, Solskjaer does have the full backing of several first-team players, but this is only an interim role. Oliver Glasner's the bookies' favourite to take the job permanently in the summer, and had his say on the odds.
I'm not allowed to bet. My contract is one paragraph. I tell you, I'm not allowed to bet, and that's I don't look at it.
Palace's clash with Villa is live on the talkSPORT network tonight, along with all the other midweek games. Now, we understand West Ham would consider sacking Nuno Espirito Santo. This after their devastating loss to Forest last night saw them go 7 points adrift from safety. Harry Redknapp told talkSPORT he'd go back to the club for free, and this would be his message to the players.
Are you not going to wake your ideas up, or you're going to get relegated?
Yeah.
You know, there ain't no in between, lads. And when you lose the ball, don't be embarrassed to run and chase and try to get it back. It's quite simple, really, you know. It's not rocket science.
Slavan Bilic is a contender to come in should the board decide to sack Nuno. There's more on that at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The United States says it seized an oil tanker with links to Venezuela, and a danger-to-life amber weather warning's been issued ahead of the arrival of Storm Goretti.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. For a limited time only, get 15% off a set of 4 selected premium tyres. Don't miss out and book today at quickfit.com and drive away happy every time. Conditions apply.
Plenty of dry weather around with some sunshine, sleet and snow showers across northern and northeastern Scotland. Rain expected in the southwest later.
Good afternoon. It is Rushden and Baker with you until 4 on talkSPORT. Craig's been in touch.
Hello, Craig.
Full capitals, Craig. And normally full capitals is not a positive in my experience of the text board. Full capitals. But this is great. Listen, I mean, we don't normally read out compliments, but why not? Eh? Rushden and Baker, these two are absolutely amazing. You may disagree if you like. I can only listen while driving to jobs, but every time I'm always laughing. I think today's different. I think Baker should bottle whatever he's been eating or drinking and sell it. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Billionaire by the end of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Says Craig.
I mean, that the how that would work, logistics of that, of getting it bottled and by the end of the week and becoming a billionaire by the end of the week and selling enough of it to be a billionaire by the end of the week is, I mean, I don't think the logistics work there, Craig, if I'm honest. So I'll pass.
Do you think he's?
So I'm out.
Do you think he's? So Craig has offered you the opportunity to be a billionaire by the end of the week, and you said no.
But it's also whatever I'm eating and drinking.
How many billionaires are happy? That's my question.
For lunch,
How many are really happy?
I had a chicken mayo sandwich, a banana, and some water for lunch.
Okay.
But if we're bottling that, it's already bottled. People can get it. I'm not going to get. I don't own.
No, but that's not. No. He's. That's not to make any sense.
He said,
Charlie.
whatever
It's
he's
not...
eating and drinking, he said.
Right,
Whatever
okay,
he's eating and drinking. I'm eating a chicken mayo sandwich, a banana and water that was already packaged.
In fact, if you bottle a bottled water, Deborah Meaden's not investing. If you say
I'm out,
I'd like 10%. I'd like £300,000 in return for 10% of my company bottled water.
Yeah, it's very yeah.
It's bad for the environment.
Deborah,
you can't just say whatever you're drinking, bottle it. It's already in a bottle, Deborah.
Deborah, what's better than one bottle? Have you ever tried 2 bottles?
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. But thanks, Craig. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. Very kind of you. And we don't mind if you don't like us either. This is fine.
This is the thing. It's all opinion,
Everyone
Max.
likes everything.
You know, I don't know when...
But you know what? I'll tell you something. I'm on a fitness... fitness.
Okay.
I just went to the fridge and there's a chocolate cake in there.
Yep.
I thought, shall I have that? And I've got myself a carrot. So
Wow.
bottle this carrot. That's my business.
What's the chocolate cake for? Just to tempt
That's
you?
just nice, just to eat. What do you think it's for, Charlie?
I thought it might have been someone's birthday or something, you know.
Nah, it's just
cakes are normally for something, aren't they?
That's good.
What sort of life you live in? Just have a chocolate cake in.
Yeah,
just have one in.
When I want. What we didn't say when we were talking about the cricket, I thought Matt Pryor, that he actually made my hairs on the back of my neck stand up a little bit when he was talking about they're all sat there on the grass just with a beer, talking about what they'd... And it isn't interesting. The elite sport life is interesting because it's not like we do this show and, we're obviously not often in the same room, but when we are, it's not often we sit there, after a show, the blood, sweat and tears of this, and then sit there and go, talk about the arduous things we've had to sacrifice.
Max, after a good show. I mean, I think people can do a good day's work and achieve something good. Like Mike Bubbins always talked about the righteous pint being the best pint.
Oh, yeah.
Which is,
of course.
When you've done a good deed or a good day's work or you're exhausted or you're whatever you've done.
Yeah, you've earned
and that's
it.
what that is.
Yeah, but a righteous pint after is not winning the Ashes for the first time in 25
quite a righteous
years.
pint, isn't it? A celebratory righteous
that
pint.
That is a righteous pint.
As righteous
we just won the Ashes in Australia. We're sitting on the pitch. We're sitting on the pitch, and there we are. We are talking about. We're going through one by one. How did you get here? How did you get here? But there was a moment, and I mean, this might sound completely stupid, but
I have 2 young children, which I mentioned quite frequently.
Yeah, good
But
luck.
until I had them, I didn't really get, them cutting to the camera of someone's mum and dad to say, oh, they're there watching their boy get. I don't care.
That's a lot.
But just Jacobs Bethel's dad, right? And his family are there. And you can see, he was on 99 for a while. He was in the 90s for a while. He batted so brilliantly. And it cut to the cameras and he's there, he's hugging. And I presume it's his daughter and his wife and his son's behind him. And he's there and he's desperately trying not to just absolutely burst into floods of tears. He's like, hold it together. And you could just see, it's that face where somebody wants to,
because the only other people who know what you've gone through to get to that moment are your parents who bought you a foam bat when you were 3 and threw a ball at you for hours on end and then drove you to every single training, every single Saturday morning, every single Sunday morning, Thursday night, all those things, trainings and workshop, whatever you're doing, they're the only other people who know it. And also,
it's such a beautiful
brilliant
moment.
parenting, Max. What a moment for a bit of performative parenting of look what my child achieved. You can keep your Oxford degree. My son has just scored 100 in Australia. What's yours done?
Yes, I'm not sure that's the vibe. That's not really.
That sounds a bit angry. Eat it. Birthday spread tomorrow.
Suddenly sound, my son's the best. That's what I'm doing at Kinder.
It's fun,
I'm saying, what? Mine passed his first solid stool at 8 months. What are you doing?
It is quite fun when they get older. It's quite fun when they get older and they do something that you're very proud of. That is this is good. This is good.
It was.
Do you know what my son got for Christmas? Actually, I'm not sure he wanted it, but he loves it now. It was Monopoly, right?
Yeah.
The card game. And
okay.
Max, it is sensational.
Is it good?
I'm not even being paid by Big Monopoly.
No, you're not. This is how we can become billionaires.
It is better than Monopoly, right? And it
that
doesn't
isn't saying much. That isn't saying much.
Doesn't take
really.
8 hours.
We all think it's good, but it isn't that good, right?
It doesn't take 8 hours to play. It is. I tell you what, we've had a lovely old Christmas playing that. I tell you what, Monopoly the card game. I tried to think, how can I steal this format and put it on a Saturday morning radio show where we sometimes play games.
Now I'm listening.
And I was thinking, can we do this with football transfers? I was thinking maybe. So we'll think along, Max. Think on about that.
I mean, the whole point of us doing this show is to workshop ideas for our
exactly. That's what Paul and Andy said.
Saturday show.
Said, can you do the Wednesdays just to in lieu of a production meeting about a Saturday show, so you can just turn up.
If we're really being honest, I don't think we can have a righteous pint after the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into jumping on the Zoom.
Sometimes.
Who are they? Are they on? Have we got headphones for Vittorio? Have we got headphones for the guests?
That felt a lot. Oh, Harry Redknapp's here. Oh, look.
I didn't know that happened. How does this work? Anyway, do you want a bit from?
Oh yeah,
2018?
do some bits. Yes, please. Bits. This was bits. Yeah.
Oh, this is the bits I didn't. I can't read you the same one about Japan Airlines introducing an online booking tool, so you can be nowhere near babies. I've just picked these up now.
Would you like something in the meantime, or?
Yeah, sure you do.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to ask you what was in the charts last time.
Okay.
Last time that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in charge of Manchester United. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Or what films were out?
The trouble is, the last time he was manager of Manchester United was too recent for me to know any music.
Yeah, sure.
If you ask me what was number one when he signed
I just tell
for Man United.
See if you can sing them to me or not.
Taylor Swift.
No. Billie Eilish, Bad Guy.
Okay.
Can you sing the bit of that?
Yeah, I can. I can. This is Billie Eilish, Bad Guy.
Yeah, go on.
Here we go.
Come on. There's one bit of
You're a bad guy, and I don't like what you're doing.
Ooh, bad guy.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. He's a bad
Stop doing that
guy.
bad stuff, bad guy. You're a bad guy. Stop it now. Be nice.
Okay. UK drill went fully mainstream.
Dear. Listen.
Can you do any UK drill, Max? Got any of that? And you've been in Australia too long.
I'm afraid I'd like to.
Can't spit any drill.
I'm happy with what I've won in singing Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. I now would like to step away from the opportunity to sing you my version of UK drill.
This also says...
Still, look, I had a pilot at Radio 1. They haven't got back to me.
Okay,
Maybe they
waiting.
will. I don't want to risk it by doing some drill music.
Here's another one. It's the way this says this is quite exciting. Adele disappeared, and then
okay,
and then teased her comeback near the end of Ole's tenure. They're making out there that Adele was just off keeping house for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer while he went to work.
Adele is looking at when Ole Solskjaer's in or not in, and when she's going to release. I don't think they're connected. Although Narin Chowry
never seen them in the same room.
That's true. Noz did say, they might bring in a patsy, and we can only think of one patsy. Who's going to get it?
Yeah,
a Cornish choice from Manchester United.
Maybe a Cornish.
Well, that's a good idea.
Anyway, do your bit. We've done it. We've finished. That's it.
We're out of time now. You'll have to wait until the next time when I'll read you the same bit.
Sad.
Every week I'll read you the same Japan Airlines bit. See how many times we can repeat it. And then we can sit on the grass after the show and eat our carrots and say, whoa, the blood, sweat, and tears.
And our parents, they'll pan to our parents who will be crying.
When I tell you, I think he's reasonably proud now. But when I told my dad I wanted to be a radio presenter, he was absolutely devastated. I tell you, absolutely. He was like, that is the worst idea. You've had a good education. And what are you doing? This is an absolutely stupid
look at me,
idea.
I haven't even got maths GCSE, and you are on a level playing field with me.
Oh, God.
Eat it.
That is awful.
Eat it.
Terrible. I got mine a year early. This is a disgrace.
Bad luck.
Can we find management? Get me someone cleverer to work with, please. This is Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstay. How can you not get maths GCSE? Not even a D. Come on, Charlie.
I got a D. I got a D. That
should...
wasn't a pass. It wasn't a pass.
Is that not a pass?
Not a pass.
Seems like a grade. Okay. You're listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Toolstation.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology, Rick.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
Just 2 days to go to get your entry in for your chance to win £26,000 at midday this Friday. We'll call the 26k for 2026 winner. Excuse me.
Wow, we.
Do you know what?
I thought you were doing a bit.
I ate the carrot. I ate that carrot too quick. I should have got the cake. The carrots were beating on me.
Should have gone for the cake. This is the thing. I always say, do not go for the health food option.
Yeah,
Eat
but
the
I
cake,
don't want
Max.
the show to. I don't want the show to get in the way of my, health plans for 2026. Anyway,
imagine if you were
hopefully
fully sick. Then that would have been amazing.
No, it's just sort of hiccup. Does that happen with anyone else?
Take some
Does
water.
if
No,
you
I
eat
get
a
the hiccups. If I eat a
quickly,
carrot.
it
We're going to run out of
does,
bed. We're going to run out of bed. Finish the competition,
we run
Max.
out of bed. It's not the end of the world if we run out of the music. It's okay. At midday this Friday, we'll call the 2026k for 2026 winner.
This is the best it's ever gone. It's the most right.
And 26,000 will be paid into the bank account that day. Don't miss your chance. Here, in total silence, is Charlie Baker.
For your chance to win. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close 12 p.m. Friday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. UK residents only, 18 plus. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com/win. So, for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. Good luck.
Scott says Max doesn't carrot all. He's live on live radio. Very good. Max and Charlie, I've used you as an inspiration for my 18-year-old son. I've told him if that pair of clowns can get jobs, anyone can. Says Paul in Edinburgh.
We work very hard.
We're here to
get
inspire.
Actually,
let's talk to our AFCON correspondent Tony of Boki.
Business
Hey,
to
Tony.
get into, isn't it? Very difficult business to get into.
Well, it's difficult to get into this. Yeah.
Hello,
To my granddad, Willie Rushden.
Tony.
Tony.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, very good, thank you. Have any more AFCON players handed you baked goods?
Oh yes,
and,
that's true.
Or was it one and only from Alex Iwobi?
No, it wasn't a one and only. I did ask Saya Dele Bashiru to give me some baked goods as well, but I didn't record it. So I've been getting a lot. You know what it is? They've been getting these muffins like post game. I'm not sure if that's why footballers like eat post match, but everyone's seems to be getting these trays of muffins, and you know me, professional. Yeah. I have one microphone in the other hand, a muffin in the other hand, doing my job. So yeah, it's been fun. So
I don't think Arsene Wenger would have been like, and post-match lads, this is what you're this is what you're having.
Do you know the Muffin Man? Anyway, moving on. Ivory Coast looked great, I thought, Tony. I only watched the highlights, I have to admit, but honesty always. But I think they look really good, and they are the holders, aren't they? As the holders, I think feels like no one's really spoken about them.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's because Ivory Coast, I think they've come off the back of a golden generation, right? The likes of Drogba, Yaya Toure brothers, and stuff like that. And they only won one AFCON. And then they won this last AFCON. But the way they won it, it was just off, for me, and I was there, it was just off pure vibes and just off a moment and just being the host nation. But being the defending champions, they look really good. And Man United's Amad Diallo has been looking really good. Yan Diamond as well. They've been two star players. And what MSP has done is really well is he brought in Wilfried Zaha in the first game, thinking, okay, Wilfried Zaha was a surprise pickup for someone we're familiar quite back home in England. And he didn't play well in the first game. And ever since then, he's taken him out. He's taken out some big name players, and he's putting in some players who are really playing well for the Ivory Coast. The thing is, they've got Egypt next, which they don't really tend to beat. Every time Egypt have got up in the Ivory Coast in the AFCON, Egypt always come out the winners. So this will be a tough one for Ivory Coast. But as defending champions, they're looking good so far.
Yeah, and none of the Ivory Coast fans saying you've got to play Ahmed at wing back, are they? None of them are doing that. But that is, I mean, the thing. I don't know if you feel this, Tony. Like, it's been a really fun competition from the football that I've seen. But now we have like 4 really, really exciting quarterfinals, and it is hard to. I mean, you think Senegal will beat Mali? I'm pretty sure about that. You tell me if I'm wrong. Cameroon, Morocco, I think is hard to call. Algeria, Nigeria is hard to call, and Egypt, Ivory. They are otherwise 3 very tough quarterfinals to call, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is the first time I've watched an AFCON where I'm looking at these quarterfinal games and I'm thinking, wow, these are probably the top 8 teams in Africa at the moment. I think other than, as you said, Senegal, Mali, and even still, let's not disrespect Mali. Mali had a really good midfield with the likes of Yves Bissouma and Lamine Camara as well, who were one of the best players in last year's tournament. I honestly feel like these could all be finals right now. And normally during the AFCON, there's always a surprise. There's always a team that gets into the quarterfinals. I remember last year, last time out Nigeria's quarterfinals, it was against Angola, a team that you wouldn't probably expect to get into the quarterfinals. But this time, you've got Algeria. You've got a really tough team. You've got Cameroon versus Morocco. Cameroon and Morocco is going to be a good one because as the host nation, this is the first time I think Morocco are going to go up against a side who's pretty decent. They didn't beat Mali, and Morocco have not really been that good this tournament. I know like they've been scraping through the tournament, but I think as a host nation, that's what you've got to do. And Brahim Diaz has been one of the best players. But it's going to be really interesting to see Morocco go up against a side that had the likes of Brian Mbeumo and Carlos Baleba as well as Christian Kofan, who've been playing really well at the moment.
So who's your money on then, Tony? If you look at them, obviously
Egypt.
Morocco.
I like Egypt.
Morocco are hot favourites, but yeah, I don't know. I asked you the question, Tony, so you can answer it.
Sorry, Max.
So I'm watching all these teams, right? And this is going to be a bit of bias, you know. I've got to represent where I'm coming from. I think Nigeria. Okay. And the reason I think Nigeria is because I look at bias aside, I think if I'm looking at all the teams I've watched playing, I think Algeria have been really good. I think Algeria, they only scraped through in their round of 16 game, and I feel like it's not the Algerians we want to. Ismail Benassa, one of their star midfielders, came off quite injured, so that will be one to look out for. Egypt, Mo Salah even said it after the Benin game. He said a lot of these players play locally, like we're not one of the favourites, and it's weird for someone like Mo Salah to say that because Egypt, wherever they go in AFCON, they're always one of the favourites. And they always won the AFCON because they had a lot of local players playing Egypt and just had that chemistry. And when they won 3 back in the day. I do think Nigeria, just because out of all the teams I'm looking at, Nigeria had the capability of bringing on players who are playing Champions League football. And for the first time in the AFCON, this is not a crazy hot weather. Normally, like in the Ivory Coast, it's just 30 degrees. Players are playing in really hot conditions. Players are playing in conditions we play in England. Like a lot of the game has been in rain. So I've seen a lot of the players that play in Europe, like being quite comfortable with the conditions and stuff like that. So I honestly feel like the more, I don't want to not say this, but the more players you have in Europe, the probably it's going to benefit you, and the cream is rising to the top at the moment when it comes to these teams. So I think the fact that Nigeria can bring on players who play Champions League football who are not even starting for them, I feel like something that other nations can't really do.
Sure, and Osimhen is in goal-scoring form.
Yeah, 100%. Victor Osimhen has been looking really good. There was a bit of a spat between Ademola Lookman and him during the last game, which was quite weird, but hopefully I feel like that will be sorted by the next game. But Osimhen's in goal-scoring form. When if you have one of the top five strikers in Europe, I think you've always got a chance of winning the AFCON.
Graham's been in touch, and he says, Max, can you ask Tony what's going on with Iliman Ndiaye? How bad is the injury, and will he play any further part with Senegal? Any ideas? He's up the top.
This is the thing. We don't know officially yet. I feel like we'll probably find out in the next press conference that Senegal have against Mali. I'm not sure if he will start, but I feel like if he's capable of playing a couple of games, if he's capable of playing, I think he would want to play that game. I think Senegal-Mali will be a good game, even though Senegal seem the favourites. Mali are not a bad side, and for anyone that watched Mali versus Tunisia, they were down to 10 men quite early, and they were very resilient to go through. So I think if Iliman Ndiaye is fit enough to play, he probably will play, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
Good stuff, Tony.
Thank you,
enjoy
Tony.
the rest of it. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Tony Fouquet there out in Morocco. Tim says, laughing at Max with hiccups has actually given me hiccups.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that, Tim. Jill says, I know you don't normally do shout-outs. I'm poorly, full of flu. You guys are keeping me going. And I love the weekend show. Could I get a go get it from Charlie?
Saturday mornings only, Jill. Unless you come and see me live in my new show, Go Get It. Tickets on sale in February.
Is that what it's called? It's called Go Get It?
It's called Go Get It, yeah. You think you deserve some sort of...
Do I get 10%
a little,
on
bounce back on that, don't you?
Should I get that?
If you come to some of the shows?
I can't make it.
There we are. So nothing.
But
you get nothing.
Jeremy says clips of the week will be easy this week. Anyway, it is Max and Charlie with you until 4. Paddy's Challenge is next, and then we'll talk to Martin Gritt.
Yes, go on, Grits.
Target man extraordinaire. He played alongside Liam Rosenia, didn't he? So we'll chat to him about that.
talkSPORT understands that Manchester United are in advanced talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's closing in on becoming their full-time interim coach. Michael Carrick and Ruud van Nistelrooy have been sounded out, with Carrick potentially joining Solskjaer as an assistant. But talkSPORT's Alex Crook doesn't think the nostalgia will be the best medicine.
I mean, what does it say about Ineos? You know, they came in promising to change the direction of travel of the football club. The fact they're willing to take a step back in time by hiring either Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick. And you have to remember, as good as it was at the start for Solskjaer, it was really depressing.
Darren Fletcher will be in the dugout tonight as they go to Burnley live on talkSPORT. Meanwhile, what's West Ham's best bet when it comes to closing their 7-point gap? Throw off the shackles and all-out attack, or as Alan Pardew says, sign a big bad centre-half to shore things up? Here's Danny Murphy.
To some clean sheets, nicking a few points, then nicking the odd win. Set plays, they've got some big lads, and fight their way back. You're not going to do it by turning on a switch of high-energy attacking football that then steamrollers teams. They don't have the players to do it.
Some Hammers fans have rung in to blame David Moyes and his legacy, but Simon Jordan's not buying that line of argument.
David Moyes has gone into Everton with no real financial support in Everton besides a new owner coming in the summer, taking them away from relegation at a canter last year and putting them 12th on the table. They're 14 points above West Ham.
Remember, all 8 Premier League matches are live across the talkSPORT network and app this evening.
Here we go. Mark says Phil Gagielka, Matt, Sammy Hiccupia, very good. Joe Hartburn, Paul Gaviscoigne.
I like that.
Gareth.
That's nice. Very nice.
Really good. I used to play with a guy called Graham Belch, says Martin. What about John Arnold Reflux, says Kev. Paul, I think, takes the cake. Gary Burples.
Oh, that's sensational.
Really like
very,
that.
very good.
And Ben says, Charlie, if you did get your maths GCSE, you too could have chocolate cake in the fridge for no reason. Education counts.
That's true. That's
Ben.
true. That's where it's held me back. What I need
it
in
is
my
time for
life
this.
is more chocolate cake.
I agree. Time for this.
Paddy's Challenge on talkSPORT with Hawksby and Jacobs. What critics are calling one of the many radio quiz segments happening this week. Paddy Power. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Yeah, time now for Paddy's Challenge, quiz for charity in association with our friends and official betting partner, Paddy Power. In Paddy's Challenge, we put our knowledge of the wonderful world of sport to the test with the chance of raising lots of cash for our nominated charities. I'm playing for the Sporting Memories Network, Charlie, raising funds for the Rowcroft Hospice, helping to manage proceedings and ensure fair play as our guest quizmaster, Ben Fletcher. Welcome, Fletch.
Very happy New Year, gents. Is it still okay to say that?
Yeah, you can still say that. I've got a question for you, Ben, actually.
Can't say anything these days, Fletch.
Don't I know it?
Does Liam get the job if he doesn't wear glasses? If he just had no glasses on?
Well, you think it makes him look more intelligent?
Do you think
There's something to be said for that.
Gets the job, Max? Max, what do you think? Do you think Liam gets the job?
No, I think he does, yeah.
You think he does? It's nothing to do with the glasses?
Sans
Nothing to do with
lentes.
glasses.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's talk Paddy's Challenge then. You'll each be asked
How will time tell? He's got the job. We won't
Time
know.
will tell. We'll see.
No,
It may come out
that's
afterwards.
nonsense.
Mark of the man.
When we see the
Mark
corner
of the
flag
man.
in the club statement, it may say should have worn the glasses a bit more. Or maybe it was some sort of mirage. Anyway, Paddy's challenge. You'll each be asked 3 multiple-choice questions, usually posed by the voice of Paddy Power, Mr. Alistair McGowan, but he's away this week, so I'm doing the honours, which means I get his hefty voiceover fee, you would think. The winner will be the player that scores the most points. In the event of a tie, you'll both win the chance to raise some cash for your charities. Last time we played, back in November, Danny Kelly won for Team Max and backed Harry Kane to score a double in England's World Cup qualifier against Serbia. On the night, it was Saka and Eze that scored a goal each in that 2-0 victory. No win there, but let's see if we can raise some more cash for your charities this week. The virtual coin toss has determined that Max will be going first on this occasion.
Okay, good luck, Charlie.
Good luck to everyone.
May the best man win, Mark of the Man.
We shall see. Question 1, here it comes. Max.
Yeah.
Tension bed, right on cue as well. Brighton's James Milner turned 40 last weekend. If he plays in this week's match versus Manchester City, he'll become the 19th player in Premier League history to play at that age. Who was the last player to achieve this feat? Was it A, Palace's Kevin Phillips, B, Southampton's Willie Caballero, or C, West Ham's Lucas Fabianski?
This is a great question. I'm just saying this is a really great question. These questions are often trash, but this is a good one.
The only one that sounds like they actually played for that club is Fabianski. I'll go Fabianski.
1 point to Max.
Oh, absolutely right.
Thank you so much.
The Hammers goalkeeper, 37 days past his 40th birthday when he joined the After 40 club last year.
That sound is Andy Jacobs ripping up and it's a happy birthday to James Milner joke for tomorrow. Who wants to be a Milner?
Well, there we go. Other game shows are available. Charlie, question 1. In the Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco beat Tanzania last Sunday to make it to the quarter-finals. Brahim Diaz scored the only goal in the match. Who does he play club football for? Is it A, Real Madrid, B, AC Milan, or C, PSG?
I don't know this sort of thing. You know, if it's not about Woking or
if it's not about the lower echelons of the National League South.
Salisbury, if it's about them, I might be able to tell you. I'm going to say AC Milan.
Oof. I'm afraid the correct answer was Real Madrid. The returning captain, Achraf Hakimi, set up the Az's winner as the hosts went through.
It's a bit unlucky. He was at Milan for ages on loan, Charlie.
So he has
you're
played
a bit
for them.
unlucky.
He has played for them.
Oh, yeah.
For them. But unfortunately,
that feels like it should be right to me.
Well, take it up with our colleagues on the 10th floor. Max, your second question. Real Madrid thrashed Real Betis in La Liga last weekend. How many goals did they score? Was it A4, B5, or C6?
4.
Oh dear, oh dear.
It's incorrect. It was 5. 21-year-old Gonzalo Garcia in for Kylian Mbappe scored a brilliant hat-trick. His first La Liga goals, it says here, to help Real Madrid win at home. So Max, or Charlie, I should say. Charlie, Max has opened the door for you, potentially. Here comes your second question. Birmingham won the championship in 2025 and set a new points record in the process. Yep. How many games did they win in the 24-25 EFL campaign? Was it
They won League One.
Yeah.
They didn't win the championship, did they?
Well,
take it up with our friends on the 10th floor.
I just read what's in front of me.
But they're not in the Premier League, are they? We all know.
One promotion,
another
to the championship.
mistake in the question. But there we are. Carry on. Fine.
Don't get me started on our hopeless marketing team.
Wow. That wasn't what I was saying. Let's not throw them under the bus.
Who also work on the 10th floor. A, 34, B, 28, C, 40.
What was the 31?
How many games did they win, Birmingham, in their 24-25 EFL League One campaign? 34, 28,
34.
40.
1 point to Charlie.
Yes.
Absolutely right. The Blues racked up 111 points with 34 wins, 9 draws and just 3 losses to beat Reading's previous record of 106 points in the 2005-06 campaign.
Right.
Littered with errors, this. They've not had the last of this. Max, your third and final question. It's not possible for you to win outright yet. Question 3 now in its 35th edition. In which year was the first Africa Cup of Nations tournament played? Was it A, 1957, B, 1967, or C, 1977?
So you said 35 of them, have there been?
35th edition, yeah.
Right, and they're sort of every couple of years, but I don't think they were always every couple of years. So it's 2025 now. So 70 years ago was... I'll go the 1950 one.
1957.
Pick that one out.
How about that? Absolutely right.
See, maths GCSE, guys.
Very good. Very good quick maths there, mate.
Egypt were the first team to win AFCON's inaugural event held in Sudan. So 2-1 Max. So Charlie, the best that you can hope for is to split the pot. Here comes your third and final question.
Good luck, Charlie.
Thank you.
In the 5th Ashes Test match in Sydney, Joe Root scored 160 before falling to a great diving catch by Michael Nesser. How many Test centuries has Root now scored for England? Is it A, 41, B, 40, or C, 39?
39.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Correct.
Oh, dear.
It's 41.
41, of course it is.
Root now joint third with on the all-time list with the Aussie great Ricky Ponting.
Yep.
So I'm just going to double-check the scores, and it is the case that Max is the outright winner. So congratulations to you, Max. You are today's winner. You've won a free £20 bet. Have it. The Paddy Power can place for you, so you can try and win some cash for your charity. It just remains for me to ask, what are you going to go for?
Oh, that's a good question. Cambridge to beat Birmingham in the FA Cup third round on Saturday. They're going to rest some players, Birmingham, because all the championship sides are. So we're going to sneak past them.
Well, we'll see how you get on and reveal the winnings next week.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. That is this week's challenge in the book. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's Challenge on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. Been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
listening to Rushden Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Toolstation. Now, in every production meeting, Charlie tries to think of a way of getting a Torquay United legend onto the show, and you have succeeded, and with good reason.
I know, pretty good. Good reason today.
Yeah, totally. It's always nice to talk to Martin Gritt. I love Martin Gritt. And we're going to talk to Martin Gritton about Liam Rosenia and whatever else. Rosenia.
I can't get used to that, but I will do.
Grits, welcome.
Hey, Grits.
Good afternoon, gents. Pleasure to be with you.
Oh, you're really welcome. Really welcome. A teammate of Liam Rosenia, and in the team, his dad managed to the 2003-2004 League Two promotion, as you will no doubt have spoken about many times over the last few days, Grits.
Well, it was a great time to be at Torquay, wasn't it? It was the best possible time to be a fan and a player, I suppose. And we were blessed with a great manager and Liam in the team at the time, who was perhaps helping us out a little bit, dropping down from Fulham. So it's been great to see him in the news, and really pleased to see that he's got the job, and to hear about what's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the question that you are now contractually obliged to ask is, did you know then? Did you think then he'll be the Chelsea manager? But you probably weren't.
He was like
19.
Was he 19? 19, Grits, was he?
Do you know what? The funny thing is, I still cover a lot of the Torquay and Plymouth games, and Argyle were in for him just after he got sacked by Hull. So there was talk of him there, just getting another chance, and obviously Chelsea's probably way above where he was expecting to be at this point in his career. But back then, certainly, I mean, all I had to go from was Leroy. I was a young player at the time, learning my trade, and Leroy was a brilliant manager for me. So I can only imagine what it was like growing up with him as your dad. But obviously, Liam was a brilliant player coming through the ranks and got to that very high level of the youth setup and academy setup, and then worked his way, progressed up to have a great career. But when he was with us, he was very much learning his trade. And Leroy was very hard on him, but he was perhaps one of the key players for us. And that he only played maybe 10 games, but it kind of got us over the line in some of the bigger games in that promotion run.
He was amazing. I remember that when he made his debut for us, he came on as a sub, and he did not stop running like no one I'd ever seen, and he was so far above the level. It was, I'm not saying that you weren't at a great level,
aside, present company aside, of course.
He was so far above the level, it was utterly ridiculous. And it was like all the Torquay fans sort of turned around and went, we're just watching rubbish most weeks. We're just watching absolute rubbish. This bloke's amazing. But then he was around the club, and we should have won the league that year, but we went up on the last day v Southend, didn't we? Grits, when you are playing League Two, League One football like yourself, do you meet people who you think, they could go on and play higher in the game, they could go on and manage higher in the game? Does it ever seem that obvious to you?
Well, players certainly at that level, they've always got specific strengths, right? You've not got a fully made player at that level. You're either, quick, great finisher, maybe have not a great touch, or you're a strong defender, you're slow. There's always some sort of weakness to your game. But if you're lucky enough, you get these Premier League players, young players come down on loan, and then it's kind of sink or swim for them.
Yeah.
They'll play 5 games, and after 5 games, either it'll ground them down, or they'll have realised that they're better than it, and they'll bounce back up. And that was very much the case with Liam. And as you said, Charlie, his athleticism, he really looked after himself. He was young. He'd clearly been at a higher level, been training and working. So when he came to us, he kind of elevated that. And that kind of really helps in training. It helps around the club. And you're absolutely right. Great character, very respectful, intelligent.
I imagine if you've grown up being surrounded by a professional footballer and a West Ham legend being your dad, you're not scared of walking into a dressing room. It is completely natural to you. So him walking into the Chelsea dressing room, there's no fear in him in that situation. That is home to him.
Do you know what? I think he probably would have been more scared of walking into the changing room with his dad as the manager. Because, that eternal sort of living up to expectations. I know they've got a very strong bond, and they've got a really good relationship, and it's great to see some of the things that have been said about that. And and when Leroy managed that, there's a great story in his autobiography, about them on the way to training, and he didn't tell Liam that he was dropped, and then when he got to the ground, he got his assistant manager to go and pull him aside, and then he told him he was dropped, and And Liam was like, why didn't you just tell me at home? And he was like, well, at home you're my son, and here, you're a player, and I treat you the same. And setting those sort of standards, and I know that it's a nice anecdote, but at the same time, it was probably a really important learning curve for him, being at Torquay and seeing the impact and the success that we had. That really gives you kind of, infectious. You want to go and achieve and win.
Yeah, it's a fascinating appointment, isn't it? I mean, you say he'll have no fear, Charlie. I don't know what you think, Grits. It is that eternal question about, okay, you managed Hull, you managed at Strasbourg, and then it's getting the respect of the players, right? And that is absolutely essential at any level of football, right? It's the most essential thing, and it's sort of, and you will know better than me, it is within the first 5 minutes, the first day, where people are either having you or they're not having you. It seems so simplistic, but that is a real challenge when you get to this level of football.
Well, especially when it's overanalyzed to the point of, every single thing that you do. I mean, training is, training's filmed, training's recorded. Everything is kind of broken down in so granular detail that there's no real hiding place. All that I suppose you can do is be true to yourself. We've seen the way that he's carried himself with the Strasbourg exit, the way that he's dealt with some of the criticisms in the past or the sackings in the past, and he's always held his head high and dealt with those things. And his preparedness has never been in question, so he'll apply himself, I'm sure, as professionally as possible. But you're absolutely right, Max. How do you manage personalities and characters and world-class players that have clearly got their own agenda? You've just got to have the right dressing room, and you've got to pull them together, and I really hope he does that. But better men than him have tried and failed, and worse will come along and succeed. It can be the luck of the draw sometimes.
Charlie, what was the best goal that Grits scored for Torquay?
The Grits was more of a sort of flick on.
I see.
Flick on guy. He did score a lot for Torquay, and you could always rely on him. One doesn't stick out, Grits, I'm afraid.
Right.
But ask Grits that. Grits. What was his favourite score?
They used to say that I'd score the kind of goals that if you lined up a dead body in the 6-yard box, it would get as many as me.
Yeah, but you need those Grits. You need those Grits.
10 tap-ins, I'd take them.
And also the only other thing is that Leroy holds the record for being the fastest sacked manager ever, which was after 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes. Yeah, you can Google that fact. He came. I think it's a sad story. And I don't like to bring it up because I absolutely love the man. He's my favorite. He's my favorite all-time Torquay manager. I'd have him back tomorrow. Yeah, I'll say it. But yeah, he came back for a second time, and while he was being announced to the press, the club was sold, and someone else came in as the manager. So he was Torquay manager for 10 minutes, second time round.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, so did he get it? Did he turn the dressing room around? Anyway, listen, Grits, it's so lovely to see you. It's been a long time, but thanks for coming on, pal.
Pleasure. Great to see you, gents. And
up the goals.
Good man, Martin Gritt in there. This is from Nick, a Chelsea fan in Swindon, says, on the subject of Liam Rosenia, as a lifeguard at the Oasis Leisure Centre in Swindon, I had to stop a young Liam with armbands on from going down the infamous red slide into deep water.
Oh.
Leroy was not happy, he says.
I'm thrilled for that family. I'm thrilled for that family that he's achieved. When he speaks so well. He seems like a good guy. I am all Chelsea now till the end of the season. I'm all about Chelsea.
No, I'm not that, but I do wish him the absolute best. Darren Bent, Andy Goldstein have Drive for you in just a second. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Tool Station. And Drive is next.